Alright, hello and welcome to the 6th Starsector Underdog Tournament. I am Fantastic Chimney, and I am co-casting with Astraltor.
Hi, I'm Astraltor.
Yep, it is finally go time. The first round is Mortia on Borkin with some Sylphon fighters, and supporting Mortia is Lighthouse with the full Sylphon fleet. Now, the Borkin fleet, and even without shields even death may die, seems to just have 5 main ships and a lot of fighters with a bunch of Harrow S's, which are just small little missiles that just do a decent amount of damage.
There's some very carrier-heavy fleets that we have today. Right now, the first Borkin ships is very, very, very heavy on the fighters. We only have 1 cruiser, 1 destroyer, and 3 frigates.
Nope, I think we have 2 cruisers, which are both the Polyps class, which are just standard, pretty much battleship, like just mainline cruisers for Borkin, and 3 of their carriers, which I believe are destroyer size, could be cruiser sized. I'm not entirely sure.
So they're going to depend on their fighters.
Chat, that's a good point. Chat is kind of overriding that. Give me a moment. That needs to be fixed. Chat is on top of covering stuff. Good call. Thank you for letting me know. Give me one moment. Where can I put this so it doesn't cover up everything? There. How's that?
I think bottom right would be standard.
The only problem, it was covering stuff up, so it was maybe like that. Is that a decent size, or is that
It's good size. That's fine.
Bottom right, just shrink it. Got it. All right. And this. All right, it's not covering anything up anymore. Let's go. Perfect. So, the 2 mainline ships on the Borkin side are just the Polyps class with the Grey Stab, which is just a large energy beam that's built into most of them, and point defense, and the Strictures, which I believe are high explosive beams. So these should work very well, especially with Borkin. Borkin as a whole have regenerating armor once it gets past half health, which means that even though they don't have shields, they can tank hits and they can keep tanking it as long as they don't get bursted down. So that should work really, really well against some of these derelicts. Now these are all just carriers. These are the Byakis. They're not carriers, they're supposed to be freighters. But their module arms have shields built into them, and they have their regenerating armor, and they just have the bomber wings. Yes, the Polyps class, like, drive me closer. I want to hit them with my sword class cruiser, the classic. And then the I don't really want to read that on stream. Class carriers. So now, on Lighthouse's fleet, we have the Dread Eagle, which has the Null Space Jaunt, which allows it to go basically phase and then teleport a significant distance, like Hyperion level distance, and then come out of that facing someone. It's a super long range delayed phase skimmer. They also have the Lagresse, the Stricture, the Adloquiums, Clemency Pulses, and Disavow point defense. There is a massive array of weapons in here, a lot of which is high explosive and energy at decent medium to long range. The rest of these seem to have just standard frigates to peel everything off, maybe put some supporting damage in. A lot of these ships have a very good amount to their null point barrier, 70% of incoming damage to shields, and discharge it as energy blasts. That is very effective. Yeah, no shields doesn't serve them well in endurance. However, they do have the generating armor, so unless they can get bursted down, they should be fine with it, as long as they don't take too much damage at a time.
I think it's very curious how the 6th fleet is very wide compared to the Borkins. Hopefully the 6th fleet will be taking most of the damage, so that will help out Borkin with the endurance fight.
Yep, Borkin, these 2 ships are insanely high damage. With their, well, not insanely, but the Grey Stabs, each firing of that should pretty much burst through and chunk a ship really badly. Now, we also have a lot of fighter spam here and a lot of these bombers, so we'll just see how that works out for them. The Sylphan fleets, a lot of these ships have the no-space skips, no-space jaunts, and that means they can just move around the map really well if they ever get in trouble. So
let's get started.
Yep, let's get started and see what happens. So, let's get out of here. And Lighthouse and Morsha versus the Derelicts. Round 1. So you say that it looks like no one's going for this bottom point. Oh, never mind, they're sending one of their main ships into it. That's not good. You bring a very good point. But the Sylphan fleet are the first to make contact. And it looks like their shields are just fine. Sylphan have amazing shields with their null space conduits. And they're just unloading with energy and high explosive. So that's all energy. Just so much of it.
Fighter wave coming in.
Yep, their bomber wave is able to go into null space and go through a lot of the point defense and not get picked off first. They go in, unleash, and then come back. Yep, and here we have the Dread Eagle just unloading. The Adlokium is that gun in the middle, which just fires 3 large blasts, with the third being a much, much more damaging ability. Yep, that's what it does. It just shifts in, fires a bunch, and then leaves. Now, Sylphan are doing really well.
Yeah, it barely looks like the shields and flux are going up at all.
Yep, that's the advantage of the Sylphan null space conduits. They have ridiculously good flux efficiency if built right, with their null space experimental hull mods. So, now, we see one Grey Stab firing, which is just a giant beam of kill everything in front of you. And the first of the carrier freighters. What are these called? The Biaki classes. You can see the arms, each providing a shield, and nothing really gets through that. They don't really have that much ability to kill them by themselves, but as carrier and as tanks, they're great ships. So we just have to wait for them to use their fighter component and make a bombing run, or to get flanked by these with their Grey Stabs.
Speaking of, where are their fighters? They're flying.
Their fighters are just
oh my God.
Sitting there. But it looks like almost all the ramparts are already gone, and that looks like a perfect first wave. I don't even see any hull damage in any ships. Yeah, it's pretty much just a formality to finish off the last of the bastion, or the ramparts.
Very fast first wave, just at over a minute, just at over 2 minutes.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I'm worried about is all of the Borkin ships are in the back, and they are very, very slow. I'm only worried if the Sylphan ships can hold until the Borkin get there to reinforce.
Well, they're using fighters, so they should be fine. Doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the Sylphan ships don't shift forward into a really bad spot.
Is this another SO round?
This is the SO round. So let's see if Sylphan can handle the safety overrides. It looks like all the fire's being focused on this Aeolia class in front. We're starting to take some hull damage finally. But it looks like one of the Borkin ships is here, and the Grey Stab is pretty much one-shotting these smaller ships.
God,
That's just gone. I'm sorry. They've lost one of their carriers already.
Oh no.
The Aeolia is gone. They got focused and the fleet wasn't there to protect it.
That's the problem with the fighter-heavy strategy. Carriers are slow and you don't have enough credit step over for meat shield.
Yep, and these carriers have the weakest shields of all the Sylphan ships. They should be doing everything but tanking like they are. Are we going to lose both carriers in the first SO wave?
Oh my God, it's going to be a really hard hit too.
Yeah, the Borkin ships, they're just kind of sitting there watching. They're getting a nice flank off, but they have to come in and help the Sylphan ships before they lose too many ships. Oh, the safety override flamers. Are they going to claim? They're going to claim another victim. And the other Aeolia class is gone.
It's going down. Down.
And that is most of the Sylphan fighters, gone with one move.
Is it over?
It's not over yet. The Borkin ships aren't even damaged, but we'll see how far they can get without the Sylphan fighter presence. Yeah. Tsunami does have a really, really good point. It couldn't retreat because the ships behind it wanted to go forwards, and it's not going to ram its own ships. It literally couldn't go away. Because its own ships were hedging it in, and they wanted to advance. I do want to ask, how is the volume for Astraltor? Can you hear him just fine, or should I turn him up a little? Alright, if you give me one moment. Sorry about that, just slight technical difficulties. Wanted to make sure you can all hear him just fine. Let me just increase the volume there. Oh my god, that was loud. But thank you very much.
Test. Hello, hello.
Thank you for the bits. Might be too loud. Okay, and alright. Back to the game.
The card asks, are the waves the same? And they are.
Yes.
It's just the Underdog League from yesterday.
And now we're just seeing how the Underdogs fare against the Prime League. So the first fleet looks to be that it's lost a lot of its cruiser presence and a lot of its fighter presence on Wave 2. Now, we'll see how far they can get with the Borkin presence being the main line instead of the Sylphon in the upcoming waves. Wave 3. Now the first wall. And Borkin once again is way in the back. They need to get up there. And the Byakis are the slowest ships they have in this current fleet. But the Dread Eagle and the Sylphon, I believe, can hold quite well. As well as these little fighters, which they still have with smaller carriers. The Clemency Pings are great for small, unshielded ships like the Remnants. Yeah, the Grey Stabs out of these Polyps classes are just one-shotting these Derelicts.
Borkin fleet have caught up though, and the Siflin ships, frigates, are spraying out the Derelicts quite a bit.
Yep. And these ships are absolutely amazing as long as they don't vent right in front of the guns. But they're amazing at holding the line, the Sylphan frigates. They can tank a lot more punishment than you'd normally see a frigate be able to tank, as well as their ship systems letting most of them, I think it's these ones, the Selkias? Return a lot of the damage they take as EMP. But as long as the Byakis keep holding the front line, I'm thinking they should just take out Wave 3, but we have yet to see the wall come in. Oh, the Katora class is at 50% hull? Where is that? Is that, oh, that's down there. He's not doing too good.
The one that was soloing the Rampart.
Yes. Turns out he cannot, in fact, solo Rampart. Borkin ship up here, holding the Byaki holding the entire fleet at bay, and just the Grey Stabs really pulling their weight here. Those Grey Stabs are pretty much carrying this fleet. So, oh, and he phases right into the back of his other ship.
Hopefully that won't cause any problems.
He's going a bit aggressively. Questionable positioning.
Wall is getting a little flank on the other carrier.
Mm-hmm. That Byaki is being very brave going in front of the wall like that. So, we're seeing those, the Gauss cannons fire, and they're just kind of ignoring them.
Now I think this is where this team wants to be. The Borkin ships at the front and the Siflon ships in the back at the halfway point of the wave.
That is exactly the ideal setup. Because the Borkin ships can tank a lot more than the Sylphan can, except for maybe the Dread Eagle, but he's just kind of hanging out in back because he can't really get into the fight through the front line. Oh, the wall's charging in. That poor Silverhead. He didn't phase away, he just kind of phased in place. However, it looks like he's flanking properly. They're not going in the front of the wall at all. The wall is probably going to lose the starboard section ASAP. And the ramparts are just exploding off to the side.
It's a very good strategy from the officers on those ships.
They're piloting this amazingly. And the wall is continuing to charge. That wall did nothing. This wave 3 was a cinch. They didn't even need those carriers.
Wall is getting out. Can't burn away forever.
Oh no, the wall can't retreat.
This is the entire fleet.
I love seeing that out of Lokium fires. It's one of my favorite Sylphan weapons. Lost one part of the rampart. Let's see that Gray Stab fire right into the center section. And it's just going down. It's just a formality waiting for it now. We're going to wave 4. We didn't even need those carriers. You don't need shields to fight. Just be Borkin. Just tank it. Actually, a lot of that was the Sylphan fighters with their Clemency pulses and Clemency pings. Just destroying all the missiles and all the small fighters.
Siflin fleet and Borkin fleet looking very healthy, actually.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
In spite of the loss.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, a lot of the Borkin ships still... Well, not a lot of them. The Borkin Byakis still have 100% CR. They haven't started to degrade yet, unlike everything else.
This is already almost 10 minutes in.
Mm-hmm. I guess them getting teleported to the back with every wave meant their CR wasn't degrading as fast as it would otherwise be. But give me one
especially
moment.
Once the Borkin ships get inside, they might be actually getting the minor performance cost.
I'm sorry about that. My Twitch chat wasn't scrolling, so now I have it live again. So, yeah. The Sylphan frigates are doing really well at pressuring all the derelicts and making it so they can't group up and bully down one of the larger Borkin ships. Borkin has an amazing showing right now. These Byakis are just holding the line so well. They've been on the front line the entire time, tanked a wall, and they're all still full hull. And then... I really like the polyps here.
They're really covering... The Siflin and the Borkin are really covering their weaknesses. Siflin taking out all the early on missiles, and then Borkin coming up for the main guns.
Mm-hmm. Casually over here, a single Selkia class just soloing 3 of these Berserkers. Just soloing 3 derelict ships and not caring at all. So, we'll see how the wall... Oh, he's not doing good. He just lost half of his hull tanking that wall. I didn't even see that. And I just said good things about their positioning this entire battle. Oh, and he charges... Oh, that was a little incident of friendly fire. He just killed that Sylphan ship.
Oh no, that frigate.
The Katora. Oh. So, meanwhile, the mothership over here just... This Byaki just not caring. Alright, another Katora's down. Oh, is that the wall gone? No, not entirely.
One section, but the other sections are also under heavy fire. It's not like it really did alright with that charge, but it didn't have any ships. It didn't have any other derelicts around it because the Siflin fleet was distracting the rest of the ships.
Yeah.
Very well.
Like that distraction frigate over there, it was doing. It already killed one. What is that ship? That's an amazing little ship. Yeah, and meanwhile they're just... I like how this fleet's splitting up the derelicts so much. It's not giving them a chance to use their numbers against them. Yeah, the armor redistribution is amazing. Like, despite this ship getting messed up, you can see here on the wireframe, it's... One of the Borkin's abilities is, even if it lost all the armor in the front half, it pulls the armor from the back half and distributes it amongst the entire ship. So instead of having no armor in front and full in back, it's half everywhere now. So it can go back in and take more damage to the front without losing any hull. That's part of why they're so difficult to pin down and finish off, unless you're able to 100-0 them in a single strike. So let's see how they're going to handle this mothership. Well, they're going to have to get rid of this final derelict over here first, this last remaining rampart. But that Byaki's very close. I'm worried about him taking some fire from that explode. Yep, he just lost some health. They should really watch out about hugging ships when they explode. Yeah, they're pulling off a perfect surround on these derelicts. They're pressuring them on all sides and expanding around them as best as they can. Now, however, right about now, that Polyps is starting to lose CR and getting malfunction shortly. They have to watch that CR. This mothership's doing quite well. It's already about to lose the front portion. There it goes. The Dread Eagle just soloing it.
Mothership getting surrounded. It's gonna be a quick...
Oh yeah, that mothership is just going completely down. I'm seeing reports about chat being gone. Is the chat still up on the stream?
It's there.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, the Polyps are, They're losing a little bit of health right now, but... Alright, now the Byakis are starting to lose CR as well, so... Now we have to worry about, Actually, they took negligible losses even on this wave. They're gonna go far. Yeah, they do not care. I do not remember what the Eolia's loadouts were, but they were not tanky enough for how far up they were. I'm wondering if they had too much short-range weaponry and the AI said, hey, let's go up and use it. Alright, wave 5. Now, can they take on the Guardians? I
really hope that the Borkin ships will be the front line here.
Oh, we just lost a Katora out of nowhere. He just got overloaded instantly. Those Guardians are just... The Guardian's almost overloaded already, but can they handle the Mjolnir spam? I'm very, very worried about the Polyps classes without their shields. Just tanking everything. You mentioned that normal carriers die a lot. The Byakis aren't designed as carriers. They're freighters with a fighter component, and they're mainly designed as tanks. Oh, what? He just charged right in, and we lost this overhead. He was tanking both of the Guardians at once. So, yeah. The reason they're so tanky, they have modules, and their shields are on their modules independently rotating, which means that the center ship can just focus on surviving and just, you know, play around those module shields. So even if you overload one, like just happened here, you still have the secondary shield. And these Guardians aren't even looking threatened yet. And let's see how the Polyps do.
The 6-1 frigates have all been thinned out.
That was not good.
No.
So remember what I was saying about the Polyps' weakness about being just instantly killed from full dead?
Oh yeah.
Polyps are just gone. Oh, he lost one of his modules.
That's a big hit to its survivability.
Yeah. The Guardians were very high flux, you were right. However, they just didn't have the pressure on it. They didn't have the ships left. They didn't have the large ships. But without the Polyps, I can't see them killing anything else here. And not any of the Guardians, at least. They're still doing great up here against the ramparts, but the Guardians are just a menacing timer. You can't outfight these, and they're about to lose another Byaki. They aren't grouped properly. Splitting like they did works when they can out 1v1 the other ships in the previous waves, but you're never going to solo kill a Guardian. I think this is an F for this run.
I think this is the end. Yeah, the Guardians are really a flux battle, especially with just pure Mjolnirs. Most cruisers, destroyers are not going to get a farewell against that, so they really need the numbers advantage there. They didn't get that.
You need to get this around to the Guardian because they are stuck with the frontal shield. You have to get them scared. You can't let them just fight someone like that. Yeah, that Dread Eagle made a good call in just retreating, but there's only so much they can do.
Just biding their time now.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, we're getting about this 50% CR, so we're going to start having malfunctions soon. And they're just losing more and more ships. They keep
I don't think we even need to wait for that.
No, they don't care. They're just going to go in. They keep sending ship by ship at the Guardians, just hoping to buy more time, and each ship just is exploding bit by bit as the Guardians just keep getting closer and closer.
Speed this up a bit.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna start speeding it up. There's now the Dread Eagle falls, so they're sending some bombing runs in, but without the Dread Eagle, it's just the 2 Byakis and maybe a single frigate left, or 2 frigates left, but.
The frigates on the east are still kiting the other ramparts very well, but the Capital's cruisers are getting torn up by the Guardian. This is the end.
There's only so much they can do. They just don't have the kill pressure anymore. They don't have ships that are able to outflux the Guardians or to surround them. They don't have the tallness to 1v1 or the wideness to surround. That was a really good showing for the first round. They went far, and those... Honestly, if those carriers survived and played back instead of dying in Wave 2, I think this fleet might have been able to win this Wave 5, or at least get a better showing than what they did.
Oh yeah, definitely. They would have had a chance, especially with the Alpha strike on the fighters.
For sure.
Bring the Guardians flux up much faster.
Yeah. The Wave 2 safety override deaths on to the carriers, that kind of screwed the Wave 5. But they did
Very,
really well for losing 2 of their carriers. That's a lot of their points being used already.
very.
And Wave 5 vanquished. That was a very, very good wave.
These fleets were by Lighthouse and Mortia. Siflin fleet was by Lighthouse. Borkin fleet was by Mortia.
Yep, that was a very, very good showing. So, and you want to know what the loadout for the carriers was, so let's check the Elia's loadout quickly. They had the Ravana Fighter Wings, some Scalpel Wings, Vacuity PDs, Dignities, Lucidas, and Strictures. They only had 4 PD weapons. The Dignity are more of a short-range machine gun. I think the Dignity might have been what made them go so close. So, and they had the null space conduits, and they had the micro null space shunt as well. But they just weren't very tanky, and they were way too far up. I'm wondering if it was the short range on the Dignity that caused it. So, all right, who do we have next? Oh yeah, the Byakis were amazing. I want to see more of those Byakis going forward. They did amazingly well. Their showing was perfect. So next, we have Mendonca with the Legacy of Archnesis, and we have Archangel Mark V with another Sylphan. Ooh, we get to see the Sarasvala. I'm very happy about that ship, and I'll explain what it is when I get to them. So, are you familiar with the Legacy of Archnesis or Archnesis?
Unfortunately, I'm very familiar with very few of these mods.
Alrighty, the Legacy pack, or the I don't know why it says Exodus Initiative. I think in game it's the Anarchist Reparation Society, but their battle doctrine is their ships are not especially tanky. They're not super maneuverable, but they have a built-in hull mod that gives them extra range on every weapon, as well as I think 30% reduced recoil. So they're accurate and very good at pummeling people at long range. A lot of their ships are also wedge-shaped, which means that they want to sit back, hold a firing line, and just snipe at them from the sides with a lot of long-range, high-explosive cannons. So if we can see what happened last time with the Sylphan fleet protecting them, I think this can be a very, very good setup.
It looks a bit similar to the fleet composition that we had last time, with the Siflin fleet going a bit wider than the Borkins.
That's very true.
Fighter heavy on the Siflin side.
Yes, except both fleets they aren't as quite as fighter heavy as last fleet. I think there's like 2 less wings, if I remember correctly. But the Alistair class, that is, I believe, the Archnesis' largest ship. And it has a built-in siege cannon array at the front, which is just a gigantic weapon, which just does a ton of high explosive damage, but it has a very long reload time. They also have a lot of point defense, like the 3 Bongo CIWSs, a bunch of drum CIWSs, interceptor wings. They have incendiary sprayers. This ship is a bastion of point defense and long-range weaponry. And looking at their other ships, it looks like they're going with that for all of them. They have 5 point defense here. There is no missiles and no small fighters getting through this fleet. So, and now that's, yep, this is the Victoria. It has a built-in siege cannon. They're going all in on the long-range weaponry and point defense. Now, the Sarasvala is unique in that it has a flux exchanger. Any Sylphan ship that has the null space conduits integrated or modular applied to it, the Sarasvala can consume the flux from those ships. And it makes them all tankier, because the Sarasvala is basically giving them all venting while their shields and weapons are firing. And the Sarasvala makes up for that by having basically no weaponry installed on it.
This would be very good for all the smaller destroyers with their lower shield capacities.
Exactly. And that lets them just stay in the fight for so much longer, which, once again, gives a better frontline for the Anarchist ships. So, yeah, it looks like the few large synergies, there's no Adlokiums. There's the Condemnations, which, if I remember correctly, are a high-explosive beam weapon. Or, is that the Condemnation? It's been a while since I've played these Sylphan ships. Sorry, but let's see how they work. So, now, let's see this battle. That's why we didn't get the pop-up. But, oh, there it is. Archangel Mark V and Mendonca versus the Remnants. The range on the Flux Exchanger is pretty significant, and we'll see it pop out, and you'll see little beams of purple beauty between all the ships. There they are. Like, it's taking the flux from these way up here. It's a very long-range ability, and the Saras is an amazing support ship. It's one of the keys to the Sylphan fleet strategy, although these are going way too far out already. Yeah.
So this will hopefully be able to avoid losing any ships in the first couple waves. This will give them a better edge for later rounds.
Yep, we just need to keep the Saras in the fleet here. That one little frigate's tanking so much already. Unfortunately, it looks like the ship system's on cooldown because it's not currently active. But let's see the Anarcha ships. They just have a lot of their MRMs firing. So look at that point defense. That's why I'm confident that nothing can get through this point defense here. So I'm wondering if we'll be able to see the siege cannon fire against this bastion here, but nope, they don't even need it. So, and now we get to see the Archonisus ships. They're pretty much lined up outside of the Derelict's range. There's the siege cannon firing. Now let's see how much damage this is. Oh, and it's running into point defense. I don't think it'll get through. One got through, but it didn't do as much as I would hope. So, they have a few of those cannons built into their fleet. Now, we get to see the Saras going in with whatever weaponry it has, as well as taking all the flux from them, the other ships. Unfortunately, that means the Saras is not the best combat ship, given that it's
getting very high on flux.
Yep, it outfluxes itself with all of its ships that it steals flux from. So, Sylphan's going for the really big surround here. Hey, Saras isn't the best combat ship just because it doesn't have the best flux. Yeah, the flare spam is really going to hurt the Archonisus ships with their long-range siege playstyle. Although, they, I want to say, these, what are those, the heavy plasma drivers that you see here? Those are amazing against these ships here. They just have to keep the fire up. Yeah, siege cannon is technically a missile launcher.
Tsunami asks, there's always something I found goofy. Would a flare really make a big conventional projectile detonate? That really sucks for Archgenesis.
Yes. I don't think it would normally. However, the Archgenesis siege cannons are coded as missiles. I'm not sure if that's intentional or if it's because they it gives them a slight amount of tracking at super long range, so it's a bit harder to dodge. But a lot of the reasons why they're ineffective against flares is because they are technically missiles. Alright. And Wave 2 without any losses. I don't think there was any hull damage either.
Very clean.
That was very, very clean. But let's see how they handle the safety override round. I think key for this is going to be the Saras taking all the flux from them and stopping them from getting overloaded by the flamers. Yep, there it goes, and it's already building up flux. However, ooh, they are playing a dangerous game. Siege cannon firing right into them, but just hitting the wreckage of another ship and exploding. Oh, what are you doing there? That Caswell class is not in the right place. Oh, we might have our first loss right now. Victoria's dying too. Goodbye, Caswell, and goodbye, Victoria. You are a siege cannon. Why are you sitting in front of the ramparts? Oh. 3,000 range cannon chooses to fight a safety override flamer in melee. Yeah, this is not how Archonisus wants to play the fight. They are not frontline ships. And the Sylphan ships, meanwhile...
They didn't have a choice at the beginning of this round. The frigates, the front line, got entirely split up by the flamers on the east wing of the Derelicts.
Yeah, the Sylphan ships did not quite hold the front line as well as the Archonisus hoped. So, yeah, the Saras should be more in the front line a bit more than it is right now, and it's ramming its own carriers. And we're at half hull for the primary battleship here.
It's a bit early for that, though. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's... Oh, that wave hurt. That wave was a lot... That wave hurt a lot more than it did the last round. Yeah, that's... Luckily, they haven't lost too much of their fighter presence, given they haven't really lost their carriers yet. They've lost their siege engines, or their sieging ships. So... Yeah, Archnisis does not do good against the safety override ships. They just get in their face and they don't have an answer to it. So. And the Ramparts are just burn driving right in. Alright, Sarasval is fighting it one-on-one, and it should be winning. So. I don't think they are not going to lose to Wave 2. I don't believe they're going to lose any more ships. But they are hurting. And I don't know if they have the, I don't know if they have the firepower to take out the wall next round. We have not seen mine layers. Oh, wait. There was mine layers yesterday, but it was on the AI side in Wave 6. So we haven't seen any mine layers on the player side. Yes. The Archnisis capital ship, the Astraltor class, does have a mine-like system. You can see it here. It throws out a web, and then after a time it explodes into an EMP, like that. It's kind of mine layer-ish, but it's a bit hard for the AI to hit it sometimes. You can kind of see it here. And there again. It's a webbing system, so... Alright, let's see how they work against the wall. They're all grouped up on the eastern side of the map right now, so let's see if they can peel off for the arc ships.
They really need to get in front of the arc ships to be able to do the peeling that they want to do.
Mm-hmm. They're just not being aggressive enough. They're all playing around the Sarasvala, and that just is letting the arc ships get in front. Yeah, we don't talk about the DME phase ships from yesterday. They just, they liked hugging explosions a little bit too much. So it looks like the arc ships are in front, but the derelicts are not punishing them for it. They don't have the safety override, and they look like they're just respecting their kill potential. Now the Silverhead's going up. I'm not sure how the Silverhead does in a one-on-one. I think it should win easily. So, Silverhead is armed with Dignities, which are very low-range weapons, but they're just... You can see them firing right there. And they have insane DPS if they can fire, because they kind of have a system where they spool up and deal more damage. They fire faster if they keep firing and deal more damage over time. Yeah. The Silverhead, that's a dueling monster. Berserkers are already dying. Unfortunately, it's not really respecting... It's not using a system to avoid the bombing run as well as it could, but that's probably because its engines are disabled right now. So... Now... What's going on up here? Oh! Once again, we have a single Selkia class soloing, like, 8 derelict ships. Just doesn't care.
This helps split the fleet, gives them a better numbers ratio in the main battle. So good.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say MVP for these fleets so far have been the Selkias. They just single-handedly split the AI fleet so hard and make it so the rest of the fleet doesn't have to deal with as much concentrated firepower at once. So, unfortunately, the Silverhead isn't quite getting in range to use its dignities properly here. It's staying outside and using the Lucius and Embraces. So, and they are avoiding the wall beautifully. In front of the wall is only a single arc ship. Yeah.
Still waiting for the arc to turn on its burn drive and knock out a small destroyer instantly. Come on.
Oh, I'm waiting for that too. But I've noticed a bad habit of the Silverheads. They tend to phase in place and unphase inside of enemy projectiles instead of just taking them on the shield or dodging them.
That's something that you don't see with the regular phase ships. The regular phase ships really like to just fly over the entire map once they enter phase.
Yep. The difference between regular phase ships and the Sylphan phase ships is the Sylphan ships, it's a system because they have a shield as well. And the ship system keeps you in phase for a very short period of time that you cannot choose when to phase or unphase. It's always a consistent amount of time. It's very predictable. So. Oh, and the wall's going in a Silverhead. Luckily, its shields are up and it's just tanking. So, the Sarasvala back there is giving it enough support that it just will not die.
It's one wall module down, starboard down.
And they're losing more ramparts as we go, so they're doing really well this wave.
Taking some hull damage here and there, but capital ships are faring very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Silverhead is at 30% hull though. That's which one is that? This one. Oh, it's not having a good time.
Need some backup facing the wall.
That. Oh, whoa! I didn't even see this guy. Yeah, he of all the places you want to be, Silverhead, in front of the wall is not it.
Really bit off more than it can chew.
Yes, it did. And yeah, Various says incendiary blasters may not have been the best choice, but they're a stylish choice. That's what you need. You don't need efficiency in the slots. You go for style. But the incendiary blasters, those things that you see firing off right now, they can completely negate entire bombing runs because of the AoE they have and the amount of projectiles in them. And we have Bender piloting the Selkia. That's probably why it's soloing entire fleets. Yeah. Angry About Elves says that they're definitely going to struggle against the Guardians, just like they struggle against the SO. You are completely correct. I don't think they have the front line or the tankiness to absorb the Guardians. Just sheer damage.
Yeah, the Guardians and SO Wave are really bringing out two different paradigms in fleet design.
Mm-hmm. That, and there's also another point, very valid point being brought up. There's only a few derelict ships left, and it's taking a long time to kill those ships. I feel like there's just not enough damage coming out of this fleet right now. They're gonna get SO. They're gonna get not SO'd. They're losing a bunch of CR, very, very quickly. You can see all the lowered combat readiness happening now from their larger ships. And they still haven't even touched the rest of the wall. I mean, they have a perfect flank on it. That wall's dead. So I'm just going to accelerate time until it goes away, but... Right. Is it threatening at them at all? No, it looks like it's just taking siege fire from everywhere. So let's continue at 4 times speed. Wave 4. Alright. And as expected, the arc ships are in front again. That doesn't seem right. But we'll see if they can handle the strike craft on this wave.
The one remaining Silverhead is not good for the Sithon side.
Where is it, Silverhead? Oh, it's right here. It's not having a good time. Oh no, that arc ship, the King class, is not having a good time, and that is a lot of their fighter presence as well. What's with carriers and tanking the entire fleet?
I think it's more to do with that players like to, when they go on carrier fleets, they don't have enough of a front line.
No, they don't. Yeah, that carrier just tanked way too much out of nowhere. That Silverhead is trying to save its life now. Oh,
yeah, and the derelict mothership has a very good line of sight.
No, you're right. The King's not a carrier. What am I talking about? No, the King's not even a carrier. That's just a destroyer. Okay, that's just a frontline combat ship, but I was mistaken. I'm sorry. That's just a frontline cruiser. That King is...
Silverhead's dead.
Oh, Silverhead just bit off more than it could chew there. I didn't even see that. But Sarasvala is going up against 2 ships by itself. It's really high in flux. Oh no, the King. Oh, it just got charged by the wall.
Wall. Mother.
That wall. Well, just goes to show you can't stop the wall.
Maybe we won't even see the Guardians this time. The mothership is just laying down artillery fire from off screen.
With those ships being taken out, and the Tilia even falling soon, I don't think we're going to be able to kill that wall and that mothership. I think that this is just the end for this fleet. And now we see the Sarasvala's damage coming straight out. Like that, it does so much damage. It just needs to be in the fight more than it has been. And the wall's charging again. Oh, goodbye, another Tilia. And he's overloaded. That's... I think this is it.
Oh no.
Oh. So the lesson we learned here is, when you walk into the wall, it hurts. When the wall walks into you, it hurts even more. That's just, it's not working very well for this fleet. Yeah, I think we just need Fs in chat right now. How long can the Sarazawa hold out, though? And the Selkia kite. So, I'm just going to double time right now and just accelerate a bit, because let's see, I don't think we're going to see... I don't think this wave is beatable. I mean, they're kiting beautifully, but they're losing health and hull as they do so. And their CR is now dipping below 50%. Selkia continues to survive at no health. Selkia, is it going to fall? No, this is the MVP of this fleet right now. Single-handedly distracting the majority of the enemy fleets constantly. Unfortunately, I think its time has come. Goodbye, Selkia. You'll be missed. And we lost to Sarasval at the same time. Oh, the wall. That wall has killed the entire fleet. Think you stood tall? Can't stop the wall. Vanquished on wave 4. They had a great showing. If they didn't... That SO wave is really punishing all these fleets. Rest in peace, Hero Selkia. You will be missed.
Next up, we have Sejusta with Trador Safeguard Coalition and Grimnor with Borkin again.
So we have the Minty Fresh Brigade for Tyrador, with the MFBS Hand Me the Players, the Atwaddle class Minty Drone Carrier. Now, this carrier seems to be set up so it has a ton of regenerating drone wings, which means that we're going to be seeing a lot of small little drones and little fighters going in on the enemy fleet. Now, it looks like they have a drone bay, another drone bay here, 2 more drone racks as well, drone swarm on the ship system on this, so the Tyrador fleet seems to be incredibly drone heavy. They have 3 ships, a ton of drones. The 3rd ship is the Saber, which is a interesting take on the Medusa, given a large energy. They have an auto-pulse laser. This is a very, very solid midline ship, so we'll see how it works. And on the side of the Borkin, we have the Borkening from Grimnir, in which case we have 2 of the Old God Scholar class light color cruisers, in which they have a lot of missiles with their FIG XGS launchers, and as well as they have a Breath of Cthulhu, which is a very, very powerful built-in ship system, which I believe looks like a bunch of just green laser pulses coming out of the front here when the armor shifts to the side and it unveils it to fire out the front. So these are going to be the hard hitters, and they also have 3 of the Nyogthos class barrel-light cruisers, which have high energy focus. So instead of being tanky, they have very, very effective weaponry, which is just a lot of DACA that's going to fill the screen. So, and lastly, we have 2 of the Dole-class Skog Troll frigates, which are just, I guess, frontline frigates with the weakest type of Grey Stab and the Strombol M. So, wait a second. That has a high energy focus, and they're full of missiles. What? Alright. We'll see how that works then. Alright. It affects the energy mount weapons, not energy weapons. Okay. Good call. So let's see how they work. Now, we should have a lot of drones coming out of the Tyrador fleet. So they have 3 ships, and let's just see all of the little drones coming out at once, as soon as they get a bit closer.
I worry about their performance in the SO round.
I do too. The drones are great, but you need a wider fleet to kill the SO ships before they kill you. Drones will just be ignored. They don't deal quite enough damage. Oh, I love these ships. They do so much damage.
Beautiful.
They are beautiful. Alright, I was wrong. The green lasers are not the ship system. Ship system are those red beams of death coming out of the armor plating as it ships to the side. So, the Borkin ships are much higher damage than they were before, instead of being tanky, so let's see if they can fill the air with enough of the missiles to really do anything. And how is the drone swarm doing over here? Well, it looks like it's doing quite well. The mantlet drones are being generated and spewed out and just taking a lot of damage. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Super Tall is letting them get surrounded already. But it's tanky enough, it just doesn't care. So.
So only the first wave, though.
Yep. And that's the mantlet drone. This ship constantly spawns these mantlet drones, which, heavy burst laser, it's pretty good PD, but they die quite quickly via sustained fire. So. Oh, the Borkin's coming in behind him. But I'm very worried about the SO round and them getting surrounded. There just doesn't seem to be enough ships in this fleet.
The Borkin and cruisers are gathering themselves on... Oh my goodness. It's so silly.
Yeah, I'm
not able to get that beautiful spread that more destroyer and frigate heavy fleet would be able to do.
Yeah, the spread isn't quite working. But yeah, this, they've been completely ignored by their allied fleets. We're gonna lose. Oh my god.
Oh no.
We are losing the only source of this fleet in Wave 1. We just lost the Atlanta-class drone carrier to the first wave.
Goodbye. Joke.
Well, its allies were kind of barking up the wrong tree. At least they have a lot of missiles. They just didn't have enough ships. And they're all focusing on just... You remember how you had the hero frigate last round, or last fleet, distracting half of the enemy fleet and letting you get the rounds? That happened for the enemy this time. Yeah, we won't wipe on round 1. The Borkin ships will carry, but we just lost all of Tyrador's points in the first round. I'm guessing Tyrador just got a little bit borked there.
How do you recover from this? How do you play like this? You have half a fleet now.
I think this will be a round 2 wipe, honestly. You cannot recover from this. That just... Tyrador counted on having the Borkin as a fleet to help them as a bit more wide, and the Borkin just said, hey, I'm gonna go in this corner and fight this guy. I don't think this is recoverable. They might get to wave 3, but if they do, it'll be barely, and just from the heaviness of the Borkin ships. But I don't think that the Borkin Neogthas are going to be able to take out the safety override ships in round 2. I think this is going to be a round 2 wipe. Especially with the, if they have enough flares to deal with the sheer amount of missiles coming out of these ships as well. They just don't have enough damage. And they also don't have a front line. They have they're still flying half a fleet. But let's just speed up time. Wave 2, safety override. At least they're all grouped now. They're not going to get split up again, so let's see how they handle it. If they can kite them out horizontally and just focus one ship at a time like they're doing, they might be able to kite this wave out. As long as they keep killing ships as fast as they are.
Coming up north, and the battle line's almost horizontal now, so maybe you're right. Maybe they will be able to kill it as far as they come.
Oh no. They had a horizontal battle line, and then this ship just jumped in the middle of the entire fleet. It's being a hero and sacrificing itself. That's not the kind of play you want when you have a tall fleet.
It's not fast enough to do that.
Oh no.
You're not a frigate.
No, you can see how tanky Borkin ships are, though. Look at the amount of damage this thing is holding. Oh, we're getting friendly fire, too. Oh, no. They're shooting themselves. Oh, no. Oh, this ship is not having a good time. Oh, it's dead, Jim. there's no way it can survive, I say, as it gets more and more hull back because it's Borkin and it just phased. Never mind. It, how in the world is it living? When it phases, it allows its ship system to come back, and that regenerates more of its hull over time. Or it should. I'm still not entirely clear on how the Borkin ship system works. Ah, the keel hull mod. I need to figure out how that works properly, but... yeah. That ship, I'm amazed that lived for so long. And yeah, they're just kiting out so they can finish this ship off.
Very unique combination of both phase and regenerating armor.
Yep. That's why it's so hard to kill Borkin ships whenever you're fighting them in campaign. I know that I personally hate fighting them, and I always have to just time my Reapers properly to take them out. So, I like seeing how the AI deals with it, and it looks like the answer is they don't. Oh no, you're right. No wait, Tyranno Light Frigate died. Where did it die? Oh, the Saber class, losing CR.
But you know what? They are making it through the SO round, although with very heavy damage to armor.
Yeah, they basically don't have any armor left. The armor distribute... oh no. Goodbye, old God Scholar.
Oh, so much for that.
Oh no. I'm honestly thinking... I don't really like these Neogtha class ships. They don't seem to be doing that much in these fights. Like, there's 3 of them, they're cruisers, but they just don't seem... how much were these costing?
I think they had too many.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the cost for generating the Old God Scholars versus the Neogtha classes were. Were the Old God Scholars a lot more expensive?
The prices are beyond me.
Yeah. I mean, they might still be able to take out Wave 2, but there's no way they're handling Wave 3. Not with the amount of ships they have left. The Old God Scholars going in, it's back to full hull. Or it never lost its hull, but... how is its armor doing? It still has alright armor, but it's losing a bunch in the front. You can see it redistributing as we watch. Like, its wireframe, you can see it filling back in, and everything else dimming slightly. It makes it a lot of fun to fly those ships. You can make a lot of desperation plays that you couldn't normally. Yeah. The cruisers do have reasonable damage, but I think you just need more than that. 60k versus 70k?
It takes a long time for them to come out and spread out to be able to do all their damage. They had 4 or 5 cruisers bunched up there, always getting into each other's line of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Not ideal.
Yeah, Rashika's just at 60k versus 70k. I would say that the Old God Scholars are a lot more effective than the Neogtha classes. Yeah. I wonder how they'll do against pirates. They might do a lot better. And they might have... the design philosophy of this might have been for the pirates for rounds 2 and 3, when you're not against the derelicts with all their flares. These are complete missile boats, and they're against a faction that spams flares on almost every single ship. So...
definitely a factor. Very, very hard countered.
Yeah. The flares just aren't working. Honestly, what really hurt this fleet composition was the Wave 1 death of the capital ship on the Tyranno side. That crippled them.
Absolutely brutal.
So, let's see how they work. I mean, I'm just going to accelerate time because they shouldn't lose anything else and they're just going to finish Wave 2 out. But, Wave 3... Wave 3 isn't going to end well. I feel like the wall's going to come in and just mess everything up for them.
Once again, pretty good positioning for the Borkin fleet. Is that one Trader destroyer left?
Yep,
yes,
we have a single Tyranno destroyer left, the Saber class, which I believe is the player start for the Tyranno start if you choose a decent military start. So we'll see how this works, but I can't see them winning this wave. I mean, actually, with how spread out the derelicts are, they might have a chance to kite this out properly. Their CR is still pretty high. No, it's at 85.
without the SO that brings all the derelicts together in a large wave, you might make it.
No, this isn't wave 4. This is wave 3. So that's that Herflex who was wondering which wave it was. But I don't think they're going to survive wave 3 here.
Just barely dodged that missile with the phase ship.
Oh, fight 4. Wait. Is this the... No, this is the 3rd fleet, I believe, not the 4th.
Team C, so we're on 3rd fight as well.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like these are holding their own quite nicely. It's just the amount of PD and flares that the derelicts have. Good luck fielding dedicated missile ships against the Bastillion classes. These are just boats of, hey, you don't have any more waves of fighters or missiles anymore. And there's nothing you can do about it, so... But the wall hasn't yet used its burn drive. I'm wondering when it will.
When the time is right.
I feel like if it used it now, it could just... You know, I'm amazed that this little Dole class is still alive and kicking. It's doing really well for itself as a frigate in these fights.
Yeah. With the teleportation system, it's a lot harder to pin down. And that's what's getting out most of the other ships in this round.
Yep.
Their capitals are very slow and getting surrounded.
Yep. Luckily, they seem to be able to dodge most of these bomber strikes, unless they phase directly into the middle of it.
And it does. Oh
but
no.
It somehow... Wow, that just Toho'd that. It got hit by one bomb out of all of those. That was amazing. That was a really, really good phase.
Yeah.
Huh. Disregard what I said, that was genius. But... Ooh, big bombing run just hit this ship, and oh no. That Neoptha is not having a good day. They don't have the ability to deal with those bombing runs. And their fleet is split so hard right now. And they're down to 40% CR. They're going to start having malfunctions. Yeah.
And considering that they've all taken a fair bit of hull damage now, it looks like their armor also has been stripped. It's going to be very hard to take out the wall.
Yeah, even with the distributing armor, they have maybe 10% armor everywhere on the wireframe now, or anywhere. They just don't have armor anymore. Bombing run just barely touches it, and it's just all of their armor is now stripped out. It just doesn't have any anymore. Yeah, if there was just 1 or 2 more ships, I think they might have a chance to get through this wave. With how spread out the derelicts are, but I don't think that's going to happen. Accelerate time a bit to see how it's going, since we're having malfunctions everywhere. That's at 20% CR. So are these ones. Let's just see. Yeah, we're just losing ships left and right, or we're about to. The hull and everything is going down pretty evenly through all of them. They ain't making it. This is a wave 3 loss. They fought well, but this is what happens when you abandon your capital ship in wave 1. Yeah. Oronite has a very good point. Time acceleration in phase means that in a CR fight, you're kind of just screwed. And these Borkin ships are constantly phasing, so they're basically have 30% more time on their CR than any of the ships do. And the last Old God Scholar is down. The Dole class is down. They're all dying. 2%, 1%. They can't even phase anymore. There's nothing they can do. Well, they can phase, but they can't dodge.
It's very unusual to see 0% ships in a campaign setting, but when you're doing an endurance fight, like...
Yeah. When you're doing an endurance fight, phase ships are a little bit questionable. The reason they're fine is the only way it works is if you have enough weaponry and enough Alpha Strike to kill the enemy fleets enough to get your CR replenished at the end of the phase. Look at that armor regeneration and tanking. That just took basically 2 times its total hull value in damage and is still kicking. And unfortunately, there's nothing it can do. Now, the only remaining ship is the Tyrador Saber. I have to be honest, I did not expect this to be the only remaining ship. Not
That's
after
ironic.
Tyrador got screwed in Wave 1. That is such a good ship. Unfortunately, it's still at 6% CR, and it looks like this... Nope. Bomb Wave missed. Or are they? Let's see. Yeah. Unfortunately, this ship cannot... There's nothing it can do. It's unfortunately falling probably right now. Can we see it? Is this the end? And that's the wave. That's a wave 3 vanquishing.
It's very rough to lose a carrier, a capital carrier, even on the first wave.
It wasn't just 1/3 of the fleet. That was more than half of their points in only that carrier. That was like 3/4 of your fleet and wave 1. That's an unrecoverable tactical tumble. So, now we go to wave 4, or fight 4, I suppose, with Dancy 212 on Neutrino, which I'm happy to see. I love the Neutrino faction. And we have Avenetia with no mines this time on a... What faction is that, actually?
This is disassemble, reassemble, plus arsenal expansion.
Yep, but you say no mines this time. I don't believe you. Because that says anti-ship mine base. And we have the Neutrino Redemption arc. So how did Neutrino do in the last tournament? Did they not do as well?
I didn't actually get to see that part.
So let's see how Neutrino's set up first. The Banshee-class flagship has a bunch of photon torpedoes, so that's just going to be constant waves of Daka out. It has a photon cannon, it has a magnetar burster, 2 Banes, which should be decent at taking out a lot of stuff. Let's see. The Lathe-class assault large cruiser. This has 2 gigapulse lasers. That is what's going to do. That's going to do a lot of damage. Also, in my opinion, they are very loud and they sound awesome. So we're going to be hearing those until the ship dies. Hey, at least there's no damselflies in the enemy team. The pile driver class, light just carrier, has a bunch of PD, some bomber drone wings, and targeting feed, so it does all its fighters do additional damage. And we have 2 of the Relativity class support frigates, which are just solid all-round frigates with only tac lasers. They just have a lot of EMP, so those should disable a lot of the derelict ships, given that they don't have shields in the first round or 2. Now we have the Vanquish, which is a very, very mobile brick filled with guns and armor. Now, this just has a ton of weaponry and anti-ship mine base. So, the Constellation Light Blacksmith carrier is a pretty solid bomber carrier. Bunch of torpedoes, graviton beam, targeting feed, just backline threat. Then we have the Light Assault Gun, Light Machine Gun, and Hellbore Cannon on the Stromvolk Mark II class derelict killer destroyer. This will do very well if it can be protected. Its main gun is the Hellbore Cannon, and if that hits, it will shred through the unshielded derelicts. And the Manta class destroyer has the 1 fighter bay with the interceptor wing, and this just is a midline ship. Looks like it's just meant to just hold the line, spread out the enemy fleets a bit. We have 3 of the Pigeon-class Annoyance Couriers, with railgun, light photon torpedoes, and light machine guns. I think their job is just to survive.
It's good to see that we have some more frontline ships that are not necessarily huge damage dealers, but just there to tank it up.
Yes. I very much like how wide these fleets are compared to the recent ones. Hopefully that will, not mean that we don't lose 3/4 of our fleet points in the first wave. So, let's queue it up, and let's see what we have. Now, Avenetia and Dancy 212. Let's see how this works. Let's see the Neutrino Redemption arc. So, let's see how they start off. Starts off with the with Dancy's fleet coming up. And, no, it's Avenetia's fleet coming up. Ooh, nice bombing run. And it looks like this is up at... I gotta love seeing those photon torpedoes just broadside something. Yep, it's time from across. The photon torpedoes just breaking up into different, basically MERV aspects. And just
Not even
shotgunning
if
whenever they
flares
get
can
close.
save you now.
You can't... Well, they have enough flares. I'd give it a 1-to-1 ratio of flares to Daka. I'm just seeing missiles everywhere.
What are you doing over there, frigate?
Yeah, I'm looking for the mines as well. I'm not quite seeing any yet. I'm seeing explosions, like those mines, like that. That's where the mines are. They're just kind of exploding. It's kind of hard to see at the star backdrop, because they look very similar. You can hear those Gigapulse lasers firing. Right there. They're not the best, but they're very solid weapons. Oh, the Banshee's already overloading. Oh no. It chose to fight the Cavalier. Where is its help? Are we gonna lose another capital in Wave 1? No, we can't.
Today, Ruffy didn't come and save it.
This is your redemption arc! You can't lose your capital in Wave 1! No. The Banshee's got this. It's taking it out. It survived.
It has a flux dissipation. It's taking it out.
It can survive. It will not fall. It's determined. It will not fall in Wave 1. Now the Vanquish. This is a very solid ship that I like to see. I've wiped more than one campaign to a Vanquish that I chose to fight earlier than I could have. So, let's see how they handle the Derelicts. My favorite thing about the Vanquish, compared to all the other capitals that we've seen in this tournament so far, is that it has auxiliary thrusters, and it's maneuverable enough to rotate and not get caught and flanked and surrounded. Every single capital I've seen has died because it hasn't been maneuverable enough. So, we'll see how this one fares. I'm gonna bet on this Vanquish. I think that Vanquish is what's gonna carry this fight. But, we'll see. Meanwhile, ship down here just chunking away at the Derelict who's stuck there unmoving. Slowly breaking through its armor with energy weapons. Yeah. It looks like we aren't really seeing any losses on Wave 1, thankfully. But I'm wondering how it's going to handle the safety override wave. Neutrino's Banshee seemed to have trouble with ships just burning at it before.
If they can group up, I think they'll be fine. They have... the flares can only take out one missile at a time, right? So...
Yes. However,
if they can take out a couple... Take out one or two ramparts, berserkers, the debris will help break up the fight a lot more.
Yeah. The photon torpedoes, they don't hit as missiles. They shatter. They charge up and shatter as they approach and turn into energy projectile, like swarms like that. They have enough flak, and the flak is AoE that it destroys all the energy projectiles, which is awkward, because I didn't think energy could be hit by flak, but it's... The flak guns, with the AoE explosions, really screw over the photon torpedoes more than any other missile.
The mines are very subtle.
Yeah. Like, the mines are there, they're subtle, it's just, they're hard to see with the backdrop of the stars, like these little stars in the back. They look very similar to the mines. I'm seeing if I can find one so I can zoom in on it and show you all, but... Oh, they're... Alright, the safety override wave is clustering really heavily. If we get some mines in here that aren't destroyed by the enemy PD, that should be we should be golden. Oh, good. The photon torpedoes are getting through now. Oh, no. Don't tell me the Vanquish is going to get flamered. It's going really close. Although, this is going quite well. They have a very nice battle line set up, and it looks like the Derelicts don't quite have all their ships together yet. All this Vanquish is looking like it might be in trouble soon. Unless... Oh no. Oh no.
It's
No,
taking on
don't
2,
be there.
3.
Banshee, what are you doing? No. This was
Banshee's
your
too far
redemption! What are you doing? This was... This is how you get back!
The ships are not maneuverable enough, and it's getting caught out. Oh my god.
This was your
It's a full
redemption
6
arc!
Surround.
No!
6 surround. Rampart.
Oh no!
Goodbye.
Oh. Oh, Neutrino. Neutrino, why? Oh no. You were the chosen one. Oh no. And he tried to save the Banshee. The Vanquish tried to save the Banshee. The Vanquish has armor out the wazoo. It just doesn't care. Although, it should
It
care.
needs to vet now.
Okay, it cares. It cares a lot. Wait, does it?
Weapons are being disabled. Oh no.
This Vanquish is tanky.
Looks like its armor is stripped. It's taking quite a bit of hull damage. What's coming
The
back
nuts.
online though?
The not safe ISS Lord Scarlet. Vanquish class mine leader. It survived. Did it? No it didn't. This
Where are
this
its
doesn't look
allies?
good. Its allies are currently dying in the middle of nowhere. And it's dying and dead. It doesn't seem to be having a good time. Oh no. Vanquish. Vanquish, I had such high hopes for you. And then you got surrounded. And overloaded. And dead. You got burned. I'm sorry.
Another one. It's the dust.
Oh no. Is this a wave 2 defeat? This is a not safe wave. The not safe ship died to the not safe wave. Oh no. Oh, this was supposed to be your time to be a hero. You were supposed to shine. Well, I guess you did shine. Briefly, for about a quarter second, when you exploded.
Especially when the flame was on you.
Yes, you were very bright then. Just not in the way you wanted to be. Oh no. Unfortunately, I don't think Neutrino and Arsenal Expansion can handle Wave 2.
Taking just simply too many losses this early on.
No. Do you think that they can finish off the last of the ships in this wave? Or do you think that they will be able to, do you think they won't be able to pull through fully?
I think it could go either way. Sorry for that little cop out there. Safety overrides. They're just chasing all the other ships. Can buy them enough time to do so. But if it doesn't, then they get ganged up on. They're dead.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, what I've noticed with the Banshee and the Vanquish, we didn't see their wide pick. We didn't see the pigeons. We didn't see the relativity classes. They weren't helping them. They weren't nearby, grouping up and assisting them. They were off distracting one or two other ships, and those capital ships needed that support. I think every single capital I've seen recently has died early. I'm wondering if it's better to go really wide with a bunch of destroyers and maybe a cruiser as the flagship instead of capitals.
That's what we've seen in the more successful ones. They have a lot more focus on destroyers and cruisers than carriers or anything else.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the battleship or the capital ship in the first section isn't so much the best strategy as it's the best strategy for banking on the next rounds where you have more points to buy a bigger fleet. So I'm going to accelerate time here. They might win Wave 2. The Derelicts are now experiencing malfunctions due to safety override CR. So. Wave 3! They got Wave 2! Well, they lived, but I don't think they're going to keep living. Unfortunately.
All they have left is a handful of frigates and one destroyer and one cruiser. It's not looking very good at all.
Yeah, and the dual Gigapulse, that's their primary weapons in this entire fleet are those dual Gigapulse, and those have no way of getting through the wall of shields at all. So, yeah, the Late's very good, but alone it can't quite do enough. It's a good frontline ship, and there needs to be more of those in these fleets. Yeah, Neatal has a very good point. Taking a cap in round 1 basically means you take a hit early to be stronger in all the following rounds. That's very true, and that's very consistent with what I've seen. And focusing on missiles doesn't seem to work against the Derelicts. I think it would be a lot more effective against pirates, though, so we'll see how this plays out in the next few rounds. But
yeah, with the lack of shields, the Derelicts on that SO round can just take absolutely full advantage of their extremely high flux dissipation. That just wrecks most ships, even if they're Martyr.
And not only that, Neutrino as a faction focuses a lot on energy damage, and when you're safety override full armor, you don't care about energy damage. Your armor's effective against it versus, say, high explosive. And Neutrino just didn't have a way of burning through it fast enough. It looks like this Lathe is just gone, though. It's getting a bombing run and it's at high flux already. It has good point defense, but just not enough. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Lathe now dies. God, those bombing runs are the worst to die to, because they're so slow you can see them coming, but you just can't do anything about it. So, I'm actually going to double time right now and just... No, it's going pretty quickly already. Ah, goodbye, Neutrino. And you've already lost your other ships, too. I'm sorry. You have 3 frigates left. 4 frigates. 3 frigates. 3 frigates. Oh no. You're retreating into the enemy fleet. Oh, 4. I didn't see that one. They are very quick little ships. Unfortunately, they, I don't know what they're going to do against the wall, so... Yeah, I'm accelerating time. It's just frigates left. Yeah, they can't get through the wall at all. They just went too tall. Goodbye, frigates.
I think a lot of the participants here are learning that you can't build your fleet like you would in campaign.
In campaign, you have the player controlling the flagship, which means you're not going to charge a group of safety override ramparts and die in Wave 2. While surrounded. So
you have to pick. You can pick very more favorable fights for capital heavy ships in campaign, but not like this.
No. I'm wondering if it's less players wanting to make the best fleet for round 1, or just sandbagging a little bit in round 1 and have a better fleet for rounds 2 and 3. Yeah, vanquished on round 3, or wave 3. So, I'd love to see more unstable photon cannons. Those are amazing weapons for Neutrino. And I feel like they do great against these fleets. So, alright.
Alright.
Next we have Herflex with the Imperial 2nd Fleet, with Glissa with the 26th Maasuran Guard. Now, Herflex's fleet is 4 ships.
Oh my god.
We have a Capital Star Destroyer, and 3 escort destroyers. Now, what have we learned about going tall in round 1?
You can't go tall.
So, not only that, the Suffering Chimera battleship, its ship system, is a global point-and-click teleport like the Hyperions. I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm seeing this ship in my head, Omewa Mushinderu, jumping into the entire enemy fleet and dying instantly.
I'm hoping it's going to teleport closer to the Maasuran fleet, which looks like it's very wide, and that's what we need here. It's an extremely large fleet, really.
Okay, hyperspace. Okay, I'm sorry. Hyperspace isn't a phase jump. It just cruises straight through it. We'll see how it happens. Hey, that's a ship in the background. Okay. Alright, you're right. It's not instant. I misspoke. It just jumps straight through wherever it wants to go to and lands there. So. Wait, it can. I thought it couldn't collide. Hmm.
I think it's more
I was
similar to like a phase drive plus burn drive at the same time.
Yeah, I think I have seen it before. I think it retains its orientation, and I don't believe it can collide, and it just like goes out of phase and just shoots forwards as far as I do. I'm worried that it's going to phase through the enemy fleet and arrive behind it. So, then we have, well, what's this equipped with? It's equipped with a bunch of MRM pods, auto blasters, ion batteries, and a bunch of PD lasers. So that's actually a really reliable, just all-around frontline ship. And the other 3 ships have auto blasters, light auto blasters, and PD lasers. So these are just good escort fleets. Macerin Guard has a Sarissa-class battle carrier. This is one of my favorite Eagle refits, in which it has 1 large slot, and it trades some of its firepower for 2 fighter bays. Now, it has 4 Reaper torpedoes, and I'd like to see how well those are going to be used against the amount of PD they have. So, with this 1 auto pulse, it's relying a lot on its bomber wing to do damage. Now we have a couple of the Patriot flotilla leaders, which have more Reapers, some Cane Blasters, and a bunch of PD. With some high energy focus.
I think it's interesting that so far we're having a lot of hardened shields on the Messera Navy ships.
That's very true. These all have hardened shields, don't they? So as long as they keep the shields up, they should be golden. And we have a fair amount of fighter presence, but I am loving the amount of presence from the super heavy destroyers here and these frigates that these will give. These bombers at least, too. So.
And hardened subsystems, oh my.
Yeah, hardened subsystems for extra CR, hardened shields, hypervelocities, and bomb launchers. So we'll see how well all of these together will work. So, I guess we will... We also have a couple Corvettes which just have... Oh, these have Maulers? Huh, they have a lot of really nice weapons, really long range on their small little frigates. So we'll see how this works. I think the Macerin Guard fleet will go very far, but it depends on how the Imperial Second Fleet works and if the Suffering manages to survive.
They really need to rendezvous together in the first wave. But otherwise, I think the Imperial fleet is going to get surrounded and killed.
What team is this again? I don't have the schedule open right now.
This is the Fringe Defense Syndicate and the Messera Navy.
So I believe this is Team E?
This is Team E, yes. It's Team E.
So the Suffering looks like it isn't using its hyperdrive. It's holding off for a bit. We have the Corvettes gangbanging this thing with their heavy maulers, so we'll see how that works out in the future. I'm hoping that we see a lot of that. Just the frigates. Oh, it's going in! It's going in! And it did exactly what I thought it would. Oh boy. But, I mean, it's pretty good. It's only showing its engines to the enemy fleet. It's doing quite well for what it did. It just needs to rotate to show its weapons. Unfortunately, it doesn't have maneuvering thrusters, which I would have liked. Or it also doesn't...
We're very fortunate this is only wave 1, otherwise that would have been a death sentence.
I'm wondering if it's going to do that to the safety override wave, and I'm hoping it doesn't. That did split the fleet quite well, and I'm pretty sure this single Suffering ship can handle both of these easily. Which leaves the rest of the Mesa and Navy fleet to handle the remainder, which they're wide enough that they shouldn't be under any threat at all.
You do want to split the fleet, but not with your capital. Not like this. Not like this. No.
We'll see if it pulls a neutrino in round 2. So,
I think the Mesa Navy fleet is quite wide enough that you don't need to use your capital like this. Oh yeah. My god, taking
Mesa
damage
fleet's
like that.
quite well, but it's already been overfluxed and it's venting right in front of it. It has enough armor that it's not really under threat right now, as far as I can see here. You can see its armor's not even going down in the wireframe.
Yeah, this is free damage that it's taking on in wave 1. It's not. Yeah. It's not something that you want. You want to get out of there.
It's already lost armor in the back corner. It's starting to take hull damage in wave 1. That's not good. It's not having a good time. Not only that, it's letting the Devastator barrages open up on its engines. That's... What? This rampart is actually on our side. It just killed its own ship.
Wow.
But it's down a quarter of its health already. In wave 1, the capital ship is down a quarter of its health. Even more. Now it's down a third. This is how this ship should be playing. Yeah, it's got no armor on the starboard side. But they haven't lost any ships on wave 1. Now that the fleets are intermixed better... Is that port? I thought port was right side.
Left. Port is left.
Port is left? Okay.
Yes.
God damn it. Alright, it's lost all its armor on the port side. Its starboard side is still intact.
Right, so as long as it doesn't get shot on its port side anymore, it's totally fine.
Yes. So wave 2, now that they're grouped better, now whatever you do, do not throw yourself blindly into the middle of the safety override fleet, and you should be fine. Oh,
3 minutes.
the fleet's already widening up. They're taking them on one-on-one, just splitting the entire safety override fleet. And...
The base air navy is very wide. It's very good at this.
Yes, just stay there, be a line ship, and you're golden. Use your turbo lasers. Take them out. Oh, the Reapers are firing, and they're already down at the Stillion. This is working quite well. Do not engage the hyperspace. Just don't. That's not a good thing to do. Oh my god. I mean, it is getting split, and it looks like it's being collapsed on, but it's doing quite well.
Mary's fleet is really keeping its distance. It's keeping the SO at bay.
Yeah, I like the wideness of the Maceran fleet. It's keeping it really well split. So, unfortunately, some ships can get left behind. The hypervelocity cannon, that's gone.
That one's too slow.
Is it? It's really tanky. It's surviving a lot more than I was expecting. But, if you're gonna die, at least fire your Reapers off. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. He's alive! He's done it! I cannot see his hull. I literally... Oh, no, he's dead. So, honestly, that went a lot better than I anticipated. So I'm not quite sure how to deal with the safety override flamers. That just looks painful.
All with the Messier Navy fleet that this time they had very wide, very many ships.
Mm-hmm.
And they just drag the derelicts away.
Yeah, the only unfortunate part was they left 1 or 2 of their ships alone.
That was a slow one. That was a slow ship. It's fine.
I believe they have one other like it. This one. So they have a backup. They had a spare. Didn't need that one in the first place. But, oh. That, goodbye, Perry class. Heavy Mauler Corvette. They really need to work on grouping up that and taking out the remaining ships better. Oh, there's the hyperdrive. And it's gone. That... Okay.
Oh, that's a bit far.
That was an interesting choice of where to go. Wave 3. They are grouped quite well. You know, I think they can beat Wave 3, but I predict they're going to take losses from the wall. I'm not super familiar with the Suffering class ship. Perflux, do you know how long the cooldown is on the hyperdrive? Although I am okay with it using the cooldown there, so it doesn't have the cooldown now to hyperdrive into the wall. Alright, 20 to 30 seconds, so we have time to get into the combat and split the fleet before it burn drives into them again. Oh, the wall's coming up! How are you going to counter the wall? So the wall burn drives, and eats a bunch of Reapers right to the shields. That's already almost overloading. No.
It's not a good time for the wall to come in. The derelict fleet hasn't caught up yet. It's 1v all the way to front.
The wall should take a fair amount of damage here. Even though the Mayazuran fleet is just fighting the wall from in front, mano a mano.
I think it's going to go down.
It's doing quite well with it.
The wall is body blocking the rest of the derelicts.
Yes. And they have some nice ranged abilities. Nice ranged weaponry hitting it from quite far away. Unfortunately, they all backed off instead of pressing their advantage when it was overloaded. I'm hearing some hyper velocities go off. Some good long-range support from those frigates. So, it looks like a stalemate right now. Except the derelicts are losing some ships slowly.
Yeah, we have a much more mid-range in range for the two fleets this time. So you don't have as much risky plays going on.
Yes. Although they do make what ship is the FDS hull mod in? I can't remember that. So because the FDS hull mod is a interesting mod where you can activate it every 2 minutes and you get permanent boosts to your stats up to 3 times, I believe. Or am I thinking about a different one? I don't know. I'm sorry. I just went through so many hull mods recently. But they're doing really well in Wave 3, although I'm worried about how quickly they're killing everything. I worry that they might run out of CR in Wave 4. Ah, that's what the FDR hull mod is. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
It's exactly the downside of using longer range weapons. Tend to have lower DPS, and it just eats into your CR.
Mm-hmm. You're trading your range for DPS. So, that would normally work well, but not in an endurance match. Not like this.
Exactly.
It seems to be surprisingly safe with its hyperspace jumps. I'm proud of it.
Aside from the one hiccup in Wave 1, it hasn't used it too poorly.
No, that one little tactical tumble.
But if it does that again, it might be dead.
I think the derelict fleet is scattered enough that if it does it again, it might be fine. So, the only thing that's a threat is the wall. They really need to be investing more damage into it. Although this ship is just unloading on the port side of the wall. Ah, got it now. So, no, don't walk in the front of it. Just keep unloading. You're golden. Oh, and now they're starting to lose CR. They've really got to go more aggressively. There they go.
This is one of the longer round 3s I've seen.
Yeah, this is a very long round 3. That Affliction is almost dead, actually. I didn't even see that. Its hull is not having a good time. I wonder if it went in front of the wall for too long. It's missing all of its front armor, so I'm going to guess that's what happened.
It's just non-stop firing.
Yeah.
Don't have too much soft flux.
They're finishing up the derelicts as we speak now. So, time to knock down the wall. Yeah, that is not a good. That Rampart is not having a good time right now. Luckily, all of the derelict ships should fall before we really start having CR issues. Oh wait, I am. These Makos are using bombs, aren't they? I'm not seeing them use their bombs. I'm not seeing them make bombing runs. Let's see, are they gonna do it? Let's see this bombing run. Oh, oh, wow. That is a huge bombing run. That's awesome. Unfortunately, they bombing ran a place that was already dead. Yeah. You can totally kill the wall. Oh, that was a hyperspace jump. I saw it. It just landed. Kill it. Kill it now. And the wall is down. The wall has fallen. Alright, wave 4. Where's... Oh, it's all the way up there. Okay, wow, they got really close to the bottom side of the map there.
This is good for them.
More time to, Is it? Because they're losing CR. No, they're not. They're far enough away. Never mind. Oh, no. Don't hyperspace to get closer. Don't do it.
You don't need it?
He's... I am amazed at the restraint this captain is showing and not using it. That's awesome. This captain's trolling chat. That's why he's not using it. He's just wanting chat to go crazy. He wants
Don't
to,
do
but
it.
he's not gonna. Everyone wants him to do it, and he just won't. Let's see these bombing runs. Are they able to... You know, this fleet is going amazingly well. I did not anticipate them doing this. Oh, he's did it! He's done it! Oh, he's fighting the mothership! He said, oh, you're the leader of that fleet? Come here. I got a bone to pick with you.
He's just starboard side, right side.
Yep. He's going right in. Can he solo the mothership? He just said 1v1 me.
I think he was spying the mothership all along. It's landed right beside it.
He was just waiting for it to be alone. It's the flagships of the fleet just saying, hey, you and me, come on. The rest of that are underlings in battle, but this is the fight.
No,
And then
stop
this
turning.
little guy.
Stop turning. Turn back.
This little guy just chose
the
to...
rampart.
Oh no, we lost an affliction. I'm sorry, I was too busy watching the 1v1. And we're about to lose a stingray
It's like
as
the
well.
derelicts are being surrounded, getting into the midst of the Messier Navy. Lots of frigates, lots of destroyers.
We're getting overloaded on some of our smaller ships as well. This is the worst kind of discrimination. The kind against me. The affliction is not having a good time. But this suffering is actually doing it. It just has to watch out for the, Is that a Hellbore? Yes, watch out for the Hellbore coming from the mothership. And it's not quite handling it. But it's taking out that rampart so quickly.
Where's its shield flickering? Oh, oh my goodness. It's already...
It's so high in flux it can't do it. Bombing run. No, the bombs! It got friendly fired!
Are they gonna hit? Oh no, they hit. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Betrayal
Oh no.
by,
Oh
betrayal by
no.
the Assyrians.
It was betrayed. It was betrayed so hard. Occurs your sudden and inevitable betrayal.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, suffering class. You almost had the 1v1, but they paid off your allies to kill you. Oh no. You weren't supposed to beat... Ah. Why do these bombing runs keep hitting the allies? They're literally just throwing them at their own allies.
You're supposed to bomb stations, not ships.
You're not supposed to hit your allies with the bombs! They're just firing at themselves! Oh no. I think they can still beat Wave 4 though. The bomb! It fired the bombing run, and it whiffed. Doesn't matter, still dies.
They're definitely going to be able to bomb the mothership. It'll be fine.
As long as they don't kill too many allies before that. Oh my god! We just had 3 Reapers hit the wall. That was a beautiful shot from the Stingray.
Craycasm.
That's what I want to see with Reapers. So, let's see if the bombing runs will hit the enemies instead of the allies.
All the eyes are turning onto the mothership. There's only one. What is that? What kind of?
That is a Cavalier, I
that is
believe.
in the top right. Cavalier.
Yes. Oh,
Two
here comes the bombing run.
And some mothership. gang up time.
I'm gonna run beautifully on the mothership. Afflictor, why are you just tanking it? Use your shield. It's not worth your death. Another bombing run hits. Lands amazingly. Oh, that's working great. There's another Cavalier up in the northeast.
One module down. Just a few left. 3 or 4. And as each module goes down, it's going to be less and less threatening.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Afflictor makes it okay. Come on. Back off.
Those bombing runs are the MVP of this fight on both sides.
They're going to be critical against the Guardians, definitely.
Oh, man. If only the Suffering was here to hyperdrive right into the Guardian. Unfortunately, it died before its time.
Do you think
the mothership is...
Do you think the remaining fleet will have the firepower and the survivability to take out Wave 4?
No. They have the firepower, unlike the rest of our fleets that we've been seeing, but they don't have the wall. They don't have the tank. They can't survive the Guardians' Mjolnir cannons. Yeah, where is the Sarissa? Is it still around?
I don't see any signatures anywhere else.
Oh, there's a Sarissa. Sarissa's at 16% now. It's not really in the combat anymore, is it? Hasn't fired its Reapers at all.
Malfunctioning all over the place.
Yeah, luckily we have the Afflictors to finish it off. Honestly, those Afflictors are amazing ships. I want some of those in my fleets when I play. They're solid midline ships. Wave 5, the Guardians. CR's back up. Everything's going well, but everything got the Reapers back as well. Unfortunately, I can't see how they can handle the Mjolnir spam. Like, it immediately gets overloaded. You need the Suffering here to tank that for the rest of the fleet.
They need dampening fields. They need fortress shields, but those don't help in the other ways, so we don't have that.
No. At least the fire just Reapers off, but they just whiffed. Another Reaper, but the Guardian has a hit. Just didn't do much though. But oh no, the Sarissa fires its Reapers. The Sarissa's tanking. The Sarissa's going one-on-one.
It's too early to do that. The Guardian's flux is too low.
Oh no, Sarissa, this wasn't your time. Oh no, the Hammer Barrage takes it out.
Oh.
This isn't a fight, this is a slaughter. The final heavy destroyer, everything's just dying. There's nothing that can be done. The hero! The bombing run! And it oh no, it got a twofer. It flew next to it as it exploded. They're just going in one by one.
Oh, double kill. Is your fleet falling apart? This is the end of this players.
Their fleet's just going down. Those bombing runs were amazing, except for the fact where they killed their own capital ship with them.
Yes. If they hadn't do that, they would have. Surely they would have the tankiness to be able to take on this 2 Guardians.
Yeah. The only way they killed the Guardians is with the Suffering. They did a nice run. They got to Wave 5. Which, honestly, is very impressive. Wave 5, they did not slack to get to Wave 5. They did quite well.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't think anyone got to Wave 6, so they're tied for the highest ranking, or fleet that got the farthest so far. So, I'm just going to speed up time, because they're being really passive right now. Those, honestly, the Mako class frigates, I think I want some of those in my fleets. They're doing quite well for themselves. They're surviving a lot better than most frigates I see. And they're still getting kills out with their bomb bays. I just want to do one thing, though. I want to just watch this Gauss cannon when it fires, and just look at the trailer moments. It's beautiful with what they did with the shaders and everything on it. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to want to use it. Like this shot right here. I love the Gauss cannon animation. Look at that. That's just... I like the trail at the very end of the trail. That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah, we have a very good mod list going on.
Yeah, but... yeah, the Patriot class is doing well as well. The Canes are really pulling their weight, too, this entire... in every single wave here. Fortunately, nothing you have can stand up to multiple Guardians. And it's still dodging. Unfortunately, it only skipped with one Hellbore and then it dies. And even then, it can't hold on. Yeah. In every single... Elonium has a very good point. In every single combat I've seen, every single wave they got to wave 5, the Guardians never split. They always are grouped. They got each other's backs.
It's very hard to split them as well. Whenever they turn their fire on a single ship, it dies very quickly.
Is this the end? No, he dodged! He's burning in. Can he survive? If one of those Maulers gets to the... oh, no. He just needs a single Mauler to get through the shield. He needs anything to slip through and he's gone. Oh. He's alive for slightly longer. But this has got to be the end. There's nothing he can do. Right there.
Gotta hand it to the dodging AI.
Yep. They made it really far. That was an amazing showing. When I saw that 4-ship fleet with no fighters, I was, I didn't have faith. I should have.
I didn't either.
I didn't have faith and I should have. That was a really...
They held out really well.
Yeah.
Definitely be carried by the Viserion fleet a bit, but I think the amount of hurt that the Imperial fleet was able to put out really helped as well.
These Mako classes have insane DPS if they're able to get their bombing runs off. So, next we have Kuroi with the Chef's Secret, and Solinarius with Yo Dog, I heard you like seafood.
These two mods are the Sanguinarity Anarchistic Defectors and another Maersiran fleet.
Yep, with a completely different... this Maersiran went tall instead of wide, and also doesn't have the bombers. They went with 2 capital ships.
2 capitals.
Oh, yeah, this is a cruiser, less than a capital. So the the ISS or the IRI ISS Panoptus, the Mokaran class,
is one of my favorite ships with its Tibero superfighter.
Yes, it has such a great built-in fighter.
It is an amazing player ship. Very fast, has maneuver jets. It's like a Conquest, but with more front damage.
Yep. And it looks like this one was set up with less missiles in front and a lot of damage with the dual chain guns. And it looks like the only problem I have with the winghead though is the AI flies it weirdly and tends to broadside instead of just going straight on. And this one has assault chain guns and ion pulsers. Looks like
safety overrides.
Wait, what?
It's a safety overrides.
You're right. That has safety overrides. Never mind, I'm in love with it. Alright.
It's going to be a very interesting fleet.
I just have to give a shout out to these names. The All-You-Can-Eat Shark, the Heavy Jossum, or the... not the names, the, what do you call it? The ship classes. Berserk Head Chef, Berserk Fry Chef, Berserk Grill Chef, the Organic Baby Metroid.
And these ships, they look like they all have safety overrides as well. Can you check?
Unstable Injector, no safety overrides. These have safety overrides. Safety overrides. Oh no. We're gonna run out of, we are so gonna run out of CR so quickly. But they do enough damage that they should be fine. Now, I'm not familiar with Sanguinary tech, but this has a Storm Blaster, 2 Heavy Blasters, 2 HILs. Oh boy. Those HILs are gonna pull their weight. There's nothing Xerox can do about them. So, and they have Hardened Shields, ITU. This is a very long-range ship. So. And it just has Disturb System. Oh boy, that can just make ships weaker. That will be key to taking out the Guardians if they can get that far. Now we have the Heavy Chili Cheese Sauce Carrier with a bunch of CEPCs. And after that we have the Dairy Gunships with just CEPCs. You only have 2 of your 4 weapons? Huh. I guess that they only equip 2 of them. Oh, yep, still the same.
It's interesting that we're seeing a lot of hardened shields and gunnery control AI on these 2 fleets.
Wonder why that is. What does that really give them for an advantage against these?
They're really trying to bulk up their effective health against the derelicts. But I think they're going in the wrong direction. Alright, here we go, wave 1.
Mm-hmm. We see the Toro Superfighter in front, just going in on the frigates already. And the Winghead is going in. Oh my word.
Are going to absolutely shred through all the derelicts every time.
This is the fastest wave 1. Whoa. I do not know what that ship system is. Is this the system, the one that weakens them and makes them take 25% more damage? It must be.
They definitely need to delete wave 1 as fast as possible to keep as much PPT as they can.
Oh yeah. This is my favorite fleet so far, just because they're all safety overrides. And they're even firing Reapers. Oh my god. I am in love with safety overrides. If I could have safety overrides in every ship, I would.
This is the exact opposite way that most people would think about taking on an endurance fight.
No, it is, and that's why I'm so in love with it. They didn't hear endurance fight and thought, all right, let's equip our guys for a long-range slugfest. Let's make it as defensive as possible. They heard endurance fight and thought, let's kill them as fast as humanly possible. And I like that. I like that initiative. And that is a perfect wave 1. That was the quickest wave 1 we have ever had.
Clocking at exactly 2 minutes and a bit. 2 minutes.
Yes. That's without any acceleration either. So let's see. Who has the more not safe fleet? Let's see. Oh, Reapers, and they just whiffed completely. Dunk. Oh, wow, it still hit and exploded. Normally they just bounce off. That was very, very nice. This is where the fun begins. Wow, they are not under threat at all.
Most fleets struggle against the safety overrides. They get countered and play it back exactly the same way with their own safety overrides.
Yeah,
spreading out entirely, not getting surrounded. Very good for.
You can't counter safety overrides. Embrace the safety overrides. They are just slaughtering this wave 2. I don't think we've seen such a good wave 2 ever. This fleet is going so well. I like this.
They're on a timer. They have to do it.
Yep. Now, I have a question for you right now. And it's a very, very important question. And that's why don't you have safety overrides on the rest of your ships?
I think that they're hoping that the safety override ships will be somewhat disposable, and they want their capitals to take out the Guardians or something like that.
Yeah. Except their disposable ships are like the majority of their damage, too. But oh man, I am loving watching this. This is the best Wave 2 I've seen in ever. Normally we see some losses by now, but no, they just stomp through. So these Thoth Glass Super Heavies are dispensable? Why would you say they're dispensable?
So Cylinders is here. But me personally, I think that they're dispensable especially if they're cheap, made out of assault chain guns and some other very low-cost weapons.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't talking. I know the capitals can't mount SOs. I'm wondering why, say, this ship doesn't have SO. The Perrys.
Well, in that case, the frigates are already very fast, and well, honestly, their PBT is already very low, so you don't want it to get any lower.
I mean, if your CR is already going to go down, just embrace it and take the safety override. Be even more fast.
Well, their range is also the range hit is also very punishing for frigates.
Wave 3 with no losses. They went through. That's a perfect Wave 1 and 2. That.
Can they keep the streak going?
Can we keep going? The question is, can they kill the wall in time where they don't CR kill themselves? Oh, the Winghead's going right in. The Winghead doesn't care. It's just going right up. It's going up too far. Poor choice.
That's what happens when they have safety overrides. Let's see it back off. It's very good for it that it has safety overrides as well. That gives it the bonus speed. So good.
Yeah, it just doesn't care. It's still going in. But it's already out 10% of its CR. Like, they're on a very, very harsh timer. They need to go in. They need to make this work.
By the time that they get to the fourth wave, which is I think it's definitely going to happen. The smaller ships, the destroyer and the destroyers are going to be running out of CR, but they're also going to be deleted fairly fast, even if they didn't have safety overrides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After wave 4, the smaller the frigates and stuff, they're disposable, I suppose you say. But
so, yeah, that's a very interesting bit of theory crafting that Selena's definitely capitalized on.
The ion pulsers or the disposable bits? They're really cheap frigates.
More disposable ships that they use to cut their losses early on. Like they have perfect, as you said, wave 1 and wave 2. And well, so far in wave 3, they're actually doing pretty well.
Yep. They don't have to have all their weapons. They don't have to have too much. They just need to exist to make the AI respect them. Yeah, the AI, the Derelicts, have so many shields so early as well. If they didn't have those shields, I feel like these high-intensity lasers would be shredding through them so much quicker. And they're already killing everything so fast. Like, those Pills are one of my favorite weapons, and I think they're undervalued in a lot of different ships and fleet compositions. I will mount them a lot more often than other things.
I'm never very comfortable with long-range lasers just because of the travel time and how often AI will turn off their lasers.
Mm-hmm.
But I could actually see your point of view.
The Winghead is surprisingly still doing quite well, and the Wall is not. It's about to lose its port side module.
It is getting eaten into by the two high-intensity lasers. Oh,
Those
and there
hills.
goes the disturb system.
Look at how quickly this thing is dying to those hills when they fire. As long as it... Like, it's just... It's
in a very good position.
It's melting. Yeah, they're just gone. Have we lost any ships yet? We're about to lose a Perry.
We lost a Perry.
Did we lose one completely?
We already lost a Perry.
Alright.
Looks like we're going to lose another Perry sometime soon.
Yep, we're finally getting to the point where we're below 40% CR for some ships. Oh, it hugged the wall. Ah, that's why it got hurt. I really, really like the hills in this ship. It's these hills are working out perfectly. They're destroying everything so quickly. Yeah, nothing. These derelicts don't exist against that ship. And now we see the ion pulsers just spamming on the derelicts, and they can't do anything. I'm liking the parry swarm with the ion pulsers. They're definitely pulling their own weight in this tournament.
Yep.
Now for the final couple ships.
Even though this fleet isn't as wide as the other Messier and Imperial Navy ship, Fringe Defense Syndicate systems that we've seen before, the ion pulsars and ion beams make it a lot even in the amount of flux that's going around.
Yep. Oh, we lost another parry. Unfortunate. Although I do think that this fleet can beat this wave. I think they will die on wave 5.
Both of the capitals are very healthy, so it's
both capitals and the wing head. How did that derelict down there already? Yeah, they still have a lot of their disposable ships too. The wing head just has to not get surrounded.
The CR replenishment really coming in handy for them.
The safety override ships, yeah, except they're already in the 80%. They just need to be up there fighting instead of losing CR dancing around in the back line.
Twin ion beams disabling an entire half of the ship. What is that? A Cavalier, Rampart?
Berserker? That was a Berserker. I just wish that the Mokaran would get closer and use its other weapons as well as its ion beams. Oh, the wall's turning. Can you take out the wall port side?
Look at that beautiful disabled. Not even getting any return fire, barely any.
Yep, and it looks like the wall is taking damage, but I would rather have the hills on the wall or the mothership. It looks like the Tower class is simply chasing smaller ships. Yeah. That flagship needs to be hitting the big ones, not going after fighters. It's using its hill on fighters. That's not what it should be doing. Heavy blasters, too. Kill the mothership. It doesn't have any shields. You have 2 giant, high-explosive beams. Finish it.
We're getting some of the high-explosive beams on the mothership now. Both. Oh, flickering shields. Or flickering the lasers. Come on. But now that most of the derelicts, only the mothership and wall are remaining, you're going to see a lot more damage on the mothership.
Especially with the ship system going. It should be taken out quite quickly. We lost 1 Argentavis already, and that's unfortunate because those were really, really solid ships. Oh no. The wing head. It's in front of the wall. Flank it! No! Don't go in front of the wall too! Oh, at least
you need some ion damage to disable those large weapons.
Yeah, it does. I love how the game shows high explosive damage like that. That was beautiful with those beams in the side of it.
It's just getting burnt.
Mm-hmm. Like, I love that it shows this. That's... Oh my god, that's so beautiful. I'm in love with how this game looks, and I will never not be. So, alright, we finally got some ion damage on the wall, so that should be disabled. Alonium's flagship is taking out a lot of the chaff instead of going after the threats. The chaff, sorry. But it's doing well. It's got nearly full armor, missing some in the front, but not much. Mokaran is now supporting. They're doing quite well, but the CR is now dropping below 40% for a bunch of the smaller ships. Now is when we start running out of running into malfunctions due to CR.
I'm really hoping that they will get closer to the mothership soon.
Yeah, they have to just go and swarm it. They have to take it out quickly.
Because militia just getting free shots off of them all the time. This whole time, really.
Yeah. We just need to finish off the last of the ramparts down here and they can regroup. Everything is starting to malfunction now. Just go in. You surround him. You outnumber him so much. You have safety overrides. You don't back out. You don't be a coward. You man up and charge right in. Yeah. I've noticed that too. The heavy blasters on here are almost never firing. It seems to want to sit at the very edge of high intensity laser range. It doesn't want to use its higher DPS weapons at all. But it doesn't need to. The Winghead and the Mokaran have got the mothership down pat.
Wow, that was fast.
Critical malfunctions. They have to finish this fight now, or they're gonna start blowing up. There are.
Yeah, there's only just one more berserker or cavalier on the.
Yep, one cavalier and one rampart. The rampart's gonna go down now, but they need to take out that cavalier. It's far enough away that we're gonna have issues getting to it.
Where is the super fighter? Tipero is missing in action. Where is it? Did it get destroyed?
I'm looking for it.
Or is it just? What the heck?
Fighters are at 100%. Oh, the Tipero's on the cavalier.
Oh, okay.
The Mokaran is still at 100. Oh, it's not 100%. It's why would you fire the Reapers at the end of the battle? Oh well. They come back at least, so. Now, can the Winghead tank the Guardians? It looks like no.
This is not the positioning that they want. Oh no.
That's not where you want to be, Winghead. Oh no. Or does it? The Guardians are ignoring it.
Looks like they changed their targets.
Oh,
the Mokaran, the Chippewa Super Fighter is taking.
It slid right past them all. The Winghead's alive. Now, how can the Towerette do against this Guardian? Surprisingly well. Honestly. Oh, what are you doing? He's getting burn drived on. So let's see. Nice bombing run. Oh, beautiful damage down onto that Cavalier. But what is this Berserker going to do to it? Probably just die without shields.
The tower is a bit alone here. Where is
Target
the Mokaran is?
Oh no.
All the way over there. Looks like they don't have the numbers.
He just pulled a full get down, Mr. President, and just went right in the front of the ship that didn't need his help. Oh, it started to do some damage to the Guardian too. That's very good. Guardian took some damage to the or hills to the port side armor.
Yeah. Port and stern.
Yes. I'm a genius of naval terms. Still trying to get them down. So.
The Guardians are split, but so are
but
so are our player fleets. Oh goodness.
Oh no. The tower gets it got split too hard. Those Hellbores are just just on the side of the shield.
Oh.
I think with that goes our only chance of beating Wave 5.
I think it depends on if the Mokaran can take out the Guardian before the other Guardian gets there. If it can do that, then we have a chance. Those dual ion beams is
ignorable. The Guardian has such good flux stats, and it's so maneuverable.
It's surrounded by its escorts as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that it won't get to Wave 6 here. It's done on Wave 5. I'm gonna speed things up a bit because it's pretty much over. 3 ships left. Mokaran and 2 frigates. Mokaran's really showing... The Mokaran is really showing up this in this tournament. It's doing really, really well. Unfortunately, you can't do anything against the Guardian.
Much less 2 of them.
Nah, just so much Mjolnir. And then there was 2. That's surprisingly tanky. But, then there was 1.
They did extremely well. Almost took out the Guardians. If they had stuck together instead of splitting, it would definitely need to take out 1 or even both. Getting to wave 5 with that many ships left is no small feat, that's for sure.
No, they did amazingly well. They just abandoned their towerette. Honestly, that parry with a single ion pulsar, those are really good ships. I feel like we should be seeing more of those in the future. That's a really good combination.
Yeah, I think one of the other few fleets that made it to Wave 5 also featured frigates with EMP damage.
But
it's an excellent way to buy time between derelicts with their fewer or no shields.
I'm just excited in time because I really don't want to watch this ship kite out for another 4 minutes. And now it's finished. Boom. And goodbye.
Wait, is there... Okay.
Vanquish on wave 5. That was a really good showing, though. That was, I think, the strongest fleet I've seen yet. That was easily the best fleet we've seen so far today. Now, the Wikifish and his super wide Dogs of War, and Oronite with a very, very tall Knight Mechanical.
So that's the Wikifish using Pack Mod and Oronite with Kudar Remnants and Talon Shipworks.
Yep. Oronite only has 3 ships. The first of which is the TKOA ISS Urganus, the Ingress class Laserface battle carrier, with a high intensity laser, 4 attack lasers, 4 grav beams, and 4 Caliver bomber wings, which each have torpedoes. So that is a lot of lasers and a lot of torpedoes coming out of that ship. Now, the other 2 ships are the Castigator class assault, or TKOA-1 assault cruisers, which have the Sable pods, and 2 unstable thermal pulse cannons, as well as a few other assorted weapons. So those should have quite a lot of damage as well. The only question is, can the Dogs of War protect them? Now, is this an entire fleet of destroyers and frigates? Because it looks to me like it is. Oh, there's a cruiser. Alright. And it's not the flagship. They have 1 single Copperhead light cruiser, which might hold the line, but it only has a heavy MG, a mortar, a Sable pod, and 2 typewriters. So, we'll see how they work. We'll see how they fit. Now, let's go. Oronite and the Wetfish. The Wetfish or the Wikifish? Why is it the Wetfish? Oh well, let's see how they work. That is a very, very tall fleet. Only 3 ships. All cruisers are larger. Versus a single cruiser ship. And a Wolfpack.
It entirely depends on if the pack ships can get in time to support the cruisers.
Yep. And I mean, the Laserface is, showing its face to a lot of the derelicts right now. And that high intensity, once again, is just destroying everything. But there's only 1 of those there. Now there's a huge pack of dogs here. Oh, we almost got the fadeaway torpedo, but not quite. I'm worried about the kill pressure of the frigate fleet.
if they all have Reapers and such, yeah, it's a very chancy setup, but it can pay off very well.
It definitely could, and they do all have Reapers, in fact. However, they need to manage to hit them, which is AI firing unguided torpedoes into a ton of point defense. I'm not quite sure they'll be as effective here as they will be in the pirate round. Oh, that bombing run. Now you just have to worry about these guys, the Cascaders, getting caught out by themselves. Oh, and it's overloaded. How much damage will it take? Oh, they're firing ion torps at it. At least they don't have much high explosive ordnance to hit it with. So it's doing quite well. It's only losing armor so far. But it's getting everything disabled. It needs help right now to stay alive. Luckily, the wolf pack has arrived. Or, I'm sorry. I suppose it's more likely it's better to call it the dog pack. It's doing so well, though. Like, this is taking so much aggro right now. Although, I'm wondering how the cruisers are going to handle the safety override wave without other larger ships to peel for them.
They really need the frigates to end up at the front of the formation, because otherwise they're just going to get run into and overrun.
Yes. So, right now, luckily we haven't lost anything in Wave 1, so we're just waiting. Now,
with the amount of frigates that the pack has, I think it was very real possibility to have lost one or multiple ships even in Wave 1.
Frigates just take one mistake and they explode. They're not the safest of things. I love seeing torpedo bombing runs like that. It's absolutely amazing. They are, I was about to say holding quite well, and then I saw this. This is what I was worried about. All of the derelicts just charging at the three cruisers, and they don't have the support to survive.
The frigates are hanging way too far back for anyone's comfort.
They need to be flanking properly. We're losing too much armor and hull.
They're suffering a lot for it, but they're also destroying everything.
However, we're losing ships as well. That was our first casualty, I believe, that Pitbull class. But it won't be the last.
So,
we I am finding it interesting, though.
Player-submitted fleets here that are going up, that are being cooperative and going up against AI. AI is the very tan-colored boxy ships. They're also known as the derelicts.
These guys.
Yeah.
And so each player designs a fleet and is submitted, and the players work together. So half of this fleet is one player's and half of it is another player's. And when I say half, I generally mean more than 3 out of 15 ships. That was a really good wave, too. Not quite as fast as the previous set of...
Still fairly clean, only one loss, and it takes some hull damage on the capitals. But yeah, I think they're looking very healthy.
They very much are. I'm just wondering what they're gonna... I'm seeing a problem with the pack fleet, though, and that is they aren't really using the Reapers as they should. That's their primary method of killing things, and they're just not firing them. Like this ship, they have 4. That has 1 left. That has 2 left. They just don't fire the Reapers. So, we'll see how this goes. How many fleets are left after this one, anyways?
This is only the second fleet. Oh, this is the second last fleet.
Okay, so there's one more set of rounds after this.
Yep.
Gotcha. Oh, started with a Reaper. Nope, didn't hit. Oh, I love to see those bombing runs. Now, how can they handle the wall? I think they have to use a lot of the Reapers on the wall to really make it through this wave in a decent amount of time.
They need the wall to fly in and get into the middle of the frigates, because those frigates are not going to man up and surround it.
No, they will not. This is
They're
the one
setting
time
so-
we want the wall to charge, although this Castigator's not doing too hot. Although, it's only lost half of its hull for this misplay. That's going surprisingly well. It just needs to work on not overloading itself in front of an entire fleet. And then getting hit by a bombing run. Oh, that bombing run just... Oh no, that Castigator, it ate a full bombing run. That... And its engines are out, it's stripped. No, that bomb. Oh no. How is this ship alive?
It almost died to a salamander. That would have been very embarrassing.
Oh no. Run, little ship! Rotate, get your shield up! Don't die! Oh!
Online.
Just in time to watch yourself die.
Oh.
At least we got the high-intensity laser on the wall. We don't really have the Reapers going into the rear end, which... Why aren't you firing Reapers into the back end of that wall? That's so free. But they just don't want to. And the other Castigator's getting flanked by the wall. Yeah, it turned, but it just wasn't enough and its shield's overloaded.
The pack of loose dogs are, well, actually like loose dogs. No coordination. Oh, they're too scared.
Yeah, they're just letting the cruisers tank everything, and they're not going up. They're not firing their weapons. They're not getting they're not doing what needs to be done. The laser face is it has a few too many bombs approaching it.
Its engines look like they're down, coming back online, but it's just sitting in the water.
We're starting to lose a lot of ships now, or it's all CR as well. Oh no. Oh no.
Those frigates don't get...
The Ingress just... Oh no. Bombing run. Oh, it was just not...
painful to watch.
It wasn't covered by its frigates. They just weren't properly escorting them. Just... All it needs is an F in chat. You know, this Castigator's still fighting the wall. That wall has gotten through the entire battlefield. Yeah, all the CR is falling now, due to just having frigates. I think it's still winnable if the fighters coordinate better. But now it's a race against the clock without those 2 cruisers we already lost. And this Castigator's alone as well. So, that's going to accelerate time a bit, see if we can get this going a bit more rapidly, because right now all the frigates are just, you know, watching. Oh, they did fire a couple Reapers, finally.
Too little, too late. They needed to do that earlier.
Yeah. I don't like how the AI holds onto its torpedoes so much when it's not in a fighter. The Cascadator is getting soloed by the wall. Goodbye, Cascader 2. And now it's pack of dogs versus the wall. Yeah, I'm just gonna double time. We might get CR screwed here, and this fleet might just lose to malfunctions.
A very real possibility. They don't want to engage.
But will they get this round on the wall, or are they just gonna stay in their line?
I think they're going to back off.
Reaper whiffed. Yep, they're gonna continue backing off. I mean, they're taking out the defenders and the smaller ships, but they're just not taking out the wall.
You don't want. The AI has serious problems going up against ships that are bigger than its own class.
Yeah. Unless it's like literally the only ship left on the map, in which case they will start swarming it. I'm getting a lot of alerts from all the combat readiness problems. I think this is it for the fleet. If they swarmed properly, they could have done it, but they just didn't. They didn't handle it properly. And they're all just splitting up, malfunctioning, and getting killed. It was a really good showing, and I like that someone went out and made a full frigate pack for their entire fleet, but we have Mercury? Well, not anymore. It was a Mercury with 3 Jericho VLR MS2s. Alright! What would happen if you just made a fleet of like 20 of those? Alright. 3 frigates left. 2. And it's just... there's nothing they can do. The final remaining ship. It's the last moments. Died to fighters. It almost made it past, but it didn't quite cover its cruisers the way it needed to.
A victim of the AI.
Yeah, not quite grouping. So, lastly, we have Chaos Farseer with the League of Anti-Gun Activists and Abduct Kaz with the Mjolnir Prime. And they are on the Legacy of Archgenesis, and they are on the Wotani Federation. Now, the Legacy of Archgenesis, we saw this once or twice already, and they have serious problems with the safety override wave, and then the Guardians just running at them and killing them.
But
However,
those fleets were much taller and thinner than this. This is a very wide fleet that we're seeing here.
Yes, and I like seeing that, which means they're less likely to get surrounded, and they have a lot more of their long-range weaponry with their ship of the lines. So we'll be seeing a lot more siege cannons and a lot of just smaller frigates holding the line. On the other hand, the Mjolnir Prime on the Wotani Federation has an unbelievable number of fighters. This is the most fighters we've ever seen today. So, the
interesting that they're all the exact same fighter.
Yep. Capital ship has heavy cannon, arc light cannon, hard light needlers, fragmentary autocannons. This is just a really solid frontline ship. And then, following that up, we have these carriers with 5 fighter bays each. That is... if these carriers die in Wave 1, this fleet's screwed. They have to protect these carriers. And then these ones, it's all the fighters are just from these 2 carriers. And then they have these smaller support destroyers to keep them in cover. Yeah.
It's going to be a critical wave 1 and wave 2 as well.
Yes, if you lose either one of these two carriers, your fleet is crippled. You need these carriers to survive. So, let's see. It's an Astral's worth of carriers on a destroyer, it looks like. And the fight starts off with...
With any luck, the carriers will be at the back of the formation by the end of wave 1, and that'll put them in a good spot for wave 2, taking on the SO round.
Well, now it's time to see all these fighters just swarm things constantly.
Disgusting.
I remember old DME. At least these fighters don't have harpoons built into them. We already overloaded the Burk, and it's taking serious damage.
It's not very good at all.
No. Our Burks are not having a good time. Oh no. We're losing a Sherman.
Oh. There's just this valley of... Oh my god, what the heck?
They just aren't holding the line like they needed to.
There's just a valley of ships that are not fast enough to draw away fire, and ships that don't have enough flux to tank it up before they get shot down.
That's the problem with any of the ships from the Arc mod. If you just run at them, they can't handle a straight up brawling fight. So if you just have, say, an Enforcer with a burn drive, you can just walk right up and take out even one of their cruisers with an Enforcer.
And they're not fast enough to get away.
Nope. But they outrange everything. They rely on just staying at range and not letting the enemies close. Unfortunately, the derelicts tend to ignore their own safety and just straight up run at you. I really do love the mod and the ship designs, though. It's a lot of fun to play.
Aside from that 1.5 loss, they are cleaning up the rest of these derelicts fairly well.
And I'm just seeing all these fighters just kind of run off and make different attack runs. They aren't really bombers, but they just have so much gun built into them that they're able to just shred down whoever they get onto. I would love to see them going more aggressive, though. They seem to be being very passive. Oh wait, I was wrong. Those ones do have the missiles. They're just anti-fighters. So they don't do that much high explosive. I can't see that fighter swarm doing that much damage to larger ships. Both of the carriers are still intact, which is a very good thing. Yeah, they just swarm it. Alright, wave 2. Let's see how the Arc fleet handles safety override derelicts. Luckily, the carriers are way in the back, so they should not be threatened ever. And that's what we need. Yep, Botani is answering the derelict flares by out-flaring them. Unfortunately, we lost to Victoria. One of our ships, one of our frigates in the back that has a siege cannon, just got up in the front. And now we have one of our McNamara's in the front too, tanking everything. This is not where you want it to be if you're flying an Arc ship. And the cruisers are frontlining too. The carriers.
They're getting run down by the SO. It's not looking good for them.
No. They need to get all these smaller ships in immediately. Yet these are distracted chasing a frigate. The carriers are frontlining. You have to protect these carriers. And it just isn't happening. Fortunately,
They're killing the other derelicts, but the other derelicts are too far away. It's going to take too much time for them to get back.
Are they about to lose the carrier here? They might lose half their fighter presence.
Could be a disaster.
Yeah, the carriers just need to survive, and they're just getting run down. They don't have the front protection. We just lost the McNamara, too.
the carriers will be the key to taking out the mothership and the guardians, but if they can't do it if they don't live.
No, I don't think they'll get there. That McNamara is so close to dead, but this carrier, we just lost half of our fighter wings.
Support's coming back in, but it's too late.
Too little, too late.
Oh no.
Too little and way too late. I don't think we can do anything with that. I mean, I believe you can beat Wave 2, but I can't see them getting through Wave 3 now. Not with the McNamara's gone, not with one of the carriers gone. I feel like we've just lost far too many ships to keep going and win the next wave.
Yeah, that's that's exactly what I would say.
I mean, that McNamara's not dead technically, but look at his hull. That's not going well. The SO wave is really, really strong against any of the arc ships. They just can't handle the aggro and the speed. Where's the Saviors? Ah, this thing. The Cavassiers. The Blade and Arc Cannon. Let's see it fire. Come on, fire your gun. Alrighty. We have the McNamara, we have the King. As long as it stays at low or far enough away, it should be fine. Yeah. Stormbringer brings up a really good point. The biggest thing you need in the safety override wave is ships of yourselves to push them back. Fighters cannot fit that function. They just ignore the fighters and go through them. So it's a very risky strat, and you're hoping that the AI doesn't take advantage of it. But we got to wave 3. Do we have enough damage to get through the wall? That's the question.
I think to do, but it's gonna bank a lot on the positioning of everything. It needs to be nearly perfect for the player fleets to be able to take it out.
It does. I'm not sure if we were able to do that. Not with the AI in command, at least.
Now that they're through the SO fleet, they're gonna have a much better time keeping at range and having more time to keep their flux down.
They do a lot better this round if they didn't lose that carrier last round. That losing 5 wings of fighters is huge, and then they're leaving their other carrier up in front tanking again. There's just nothing that carrier can do if it's left alone like that.
This is the exact opposite positioning of what it wants to be and where it should be.
Mm-hmm. It needs to, instead of being there, just be way back there. Like, and you can see the arc ships just firing their siege cannons out and just trying to deal damage at range and hold the front line. Like those siege weapons there, they're very good if they can hit. It's just they need time.
They need a front line, and they're not getting it with this.
Oh, they're getting the carrier front line into the bomb bay.
No, that's not what they want. They're taking it. That's the punishment that they're getting for it.
Yeah, that's this carrier is not having a good time.
That's a nail in the coffin.
Is it?
It's going to be.
Oh no. Oh no. It surprisingly survived so far, but and with this carrier goes with the fleet's hopes and their fighter presence in one bombing run. Goodbye, carrier. Why was it in front? Man. What I'm learning is that carriers are a really, really bad investment in this tournament because the AI always suicides them.
Yeah.
It's
very punishing when you have a front line, but the front line is going to have to die, and it doesn't do well in an endurance fight, especially not against SO waves.
Mm-hmm.
when the front line doesn't want to fight there and stay there and then back off, which leaves the carry exposed.
Yeah. I'm thinking, at least in the terms of the AI tournament, when you can't have player intervention, it might be best to just go with a very wide fleet with a few cruisers, a few destroyers, and then some frigates with iron weaponry. That seems so far to be the best performing option.
Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, and just hope that your numbers will play it out much better.
Yes. Unfortunately, the McNamara just went as well. We lost 1 or 2 McNamaras. We don't have no more carriers. We
Walls
cannot...
untouched. It's not going to go well. I don't think they're going to make it.
I think this last fleet is done on wave 3. The wall's charging! Maybe the Cavassier can do something. It has a lot of good weaponry. And it's even damaging the wall slightly, but I don't think it's enough.
I don't like beams, not without player control, player-assisted controls. Because with beams, you have very long downtime, and beams require a lot of sustained firing for them to be effective. And you just don't get that with AI. Projectiles are much better.
Yeah. It's just... I don't think the player fleet here can handle the... You know, they have a lot of ships grouped up here. They might... I'd give them a 30% chance of beating this wave. Just because they are kind of grouped here, and if they keep that grouping and just kill these ships one by one, they will be able to take the wall if they don't lose anyone.
Maybe.
Unfortunately, the McNamara needs to survive in order to make that work, and it's just isn't. It picked the wrong place to be, and now the wall's flanking. Oh no. Oh no. Well, the McNamara, if you went down here, you would have been fine, but you strafed in front of the wall and lost a lot of your health. Why are you going back? Oh no. Goodbye, McNamara. You died because you made a bad move.
Those Devastators being so efficient. I don't mind that lasers are a 1k range at standard, but it's that they take a long time to get there, and then the AI likes to just turn it off at like halfway through even. So a lot of times, even when it's firing, it's not hitting anything.
Yeah, the AI in these fights, they always make bad decisions when you're live. When you're testing, they'll be beautiful, and they'll storm through the waves, play it perfectly, and then gets to testing, hey, let's take the Neutrino Capital and die on wave 2. Or the Tirador Capital and die on wave 1. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. I mean, I feel like they're going to get most of the way through this wave, but I'm not... No, I think they can kill the wall, but they'll get wiped instantly by the mothership.
Now the frigates are hitting critical malfunction CR limit, and this is definitely going to be the end or very near the end. They'll be lucky if they get into the next wave at all.
I think you're right. If they all went aggressive right now and did all they can do just to go in immediately, they could win and go to the next wave. But with how passive they're playing and how scared they are, and just sitting in front of the wall and losing some of their main damage sources, I'm not sure if they're going to make it to the next wave. This ship was just broken in half by that Gauss cannon. That Hellbore. But they're so passive. Just kill the wall. I don't think you're going to make it to the next wave. Not with how they're playing right now. Not at 20% CR. Not at 1%. Not at 0% CR. Oh, the wall's charging. If the wall wants you dead, you just kind of die. Especially if you're malfunctioning as you go. Gonna double time quickly. I don't think they're gonna win this fight. I mean, this has CR of 70 still, so that's doing great. Nothing else is. That ship just exploded to just 0 CR, critical malfunction. Four ships left against the wall. I think that's a Rampart and a Cavalier. Unfortunately, I can't see them winning this.
I don't have anything to say. They're definitely gonna.
Yeah.
It's a very slow death.
They're just
in front of the
CR
wall.
screwed.
Good run, but they're gonna hit 0% eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fair if you turn it up to like 4 or even 8 times speed.
Yeah. Just go to 8 times speed for the last ship. So, the final ship on wave 3 died fighting a wall, just sitting in front of it trading blows. Oh, I think this is the final bombing run. Oh my, it dodged it! It survives a little bit longer. The wall is charging though. Can you say no to the wall? Oh, actually, yeah. Is that wall at low CR? That's a 70. Why isn't it
The wall
functioning?
is mostly PD weapons. It's a couple of Devastators.
It's not actually that scary unless you're in really, like, melee with it. But, max flux, bombing run. This is the end. You can't get past the wall. Retreated? What? Did a ship retreat in an AI tournament?
Well, that's where it went.
That's, not right. Alright, you know, we had a lot of good runs. I'm kind of sad we didn't get to round 6, but only one fleet managed to get there. I think that was really well designed. But that went amazingly well. Unfortunately, that's the end of our runs today. So, thank you all for stopping by. The next tournament will be announced on the Discord, or not next tournament, the next episodes of the tournament will be announced in the Discord, and I believe that is the Pirate Round. So, make sure to keep an eye out for that. And that was... I had a lot of fun casting it. What about you?
That was very good. That was a lot of fun. I didn't expect to sit here for this long watching all this, but definitely a lot of very interesting fleets. I think a lot of the designers also learned a bit today about their strengths and weaknesses, and we're going to be seeing a lot of changes, I think, in the next round.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see how everyone's going to change the fleet up for the next round. That's the Pirate Round, not the Derelicts. So I also can't wait to see what Tartaflet has in store for everyone on the AI fleets. That's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you, everyone. That was a good, I think the prime was about 3 hours, so that was roughly consistent. But I'm going to go eat dinner. So thank you all for stopping by. And you have anything else to say?
I'll be signing off as well. We're clocking at just under 3 hours this time.
It was good seeing all you. Thank you, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.
See you later. Bye.